Hey, thanks for joining us for the second ever episode of the newly named LyfCast, or Granny Bangers Part 2, if you want to call it that.
LyfCast Granny Bangers.
We're back. Hello, Mr. Tibbins. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How is you?
We're doing well, man. I hit a big number on the channel. Hit 200 followers. We did a 9-hour stream on last Thursday. We did Super Mario Sunshine. It was fantastic, man. Meeting a whole bunch of really awesome people on the channel and stuff like that. So I couldn't be happier, man.
Awesome.
How have you been doing? What's going on with you? How's Mrs. Tibbins?
I'm doing good. Mrs. Tibbins is good.
Awesome.
She's sleeping right now. I put her in a sleeper hold because she didn't cook my dinner very well.
Is that why it's all dark where you're at right now?
Yes, it's all dark.
The police are coming, you're hiding?
We haven't paid the bills in a while. I'm actually plugged in next door.
Well, I'm sure they'll appreciate that. So.
Yeah, no, they don't mind.
So what's going on, man? What are you playing? Are you playing anything? And oh wait, hold on. Let's talk about the very first segment we'll ever have on LyfCast. Mr. Tibbins' piece of Raspberry Pi. Okay. Basically, what this segment is going to be is last week we were talking to you guys about Mr. Tibbins built the Raspberry Pi where he's got his whole childhood on that little device. If you guys remember correctly.
Yes.
And basically, he reaches into that big old Pi and pulls out a game. And he's going to tell us about it. So that's going to be the first segment we'll ever do on LyfCast. I hope you guys enjoy it. So, Mr. Tibbins, what do you have on the Pi? What's the piece of pie you found today?
Well, the first game I found that was really interesting and fun was a game called Dragon's Fury for the Sega Genesis, which is an old system. And I don't know if a lot of younger viewers will know what pinball is.
Pinball?
Because pinball, what is that?
Well, if they don't, I'll pull up this video I have right
now.
Ah,
yes. But pinball is basically a machine with a metal ball in it that you knock around and you get points. Not a video game, but back in the day they made a lot of interesting pinball video games. One, which is this game called Dragon's Fury.
Well, what makes this game special? I mean, there's probably a ton of pinball games out there. Why this game?
I don't know. This game kind of appeals to like a younger version of me that was into like all the dark and like crazy shit. And it's got kind of like an H.R. Giger kind of feel to it, like with weird women's faces like in the middle of the pinball play field. And
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this game looks ridiculous. I mean,
yeah,
you have, like claws as for the pin thing.
Yeah, and there's like
the
skeletons and like brains and shit. And
this looks amazing, and the soundtrack is ridiculous.
Yeah,
man.
the music in it's phenomenal. I mean, a lot of the old Genesis games using that special FM synthesis engine like had a very distinct like grungy kind of like. They can make really cool soundtracks with that.
Oh god, yeah.
And the soundtrack to this game is just phenomenal, and it kind of like hypes you up just with the visuals too. It feels like you're in this brimstone castle with like evil shit all floating around it. I mean, there's like a creepy lady face in the middle of the play field that you can bash with the pinball.
Oh, she's not just like there. Okay.
No, and she'll slowly like wake up and like slowly turn into this like lizard creature with evil eyes and like shoot stuff out of her head.
This is amazing, man.
So you're basically just knocking this pinball around like this weird creepy pinball field and like killing like demons and stuff that are walking around, and then you'll warp like into other small pinball.
Oh my god, yeah, it just warped. Oh my god, this is insane.
And there'll be like other like demons and like dancing lizard women that you're hitting, and like it gets pretty intense, and it's I don't know. I had a lot of fun with those, and those games had a lot of replayability back in the day, basically because you're trying to just beat a highest score. But
right, it was all about the scores back in the day, not about.
But for me, like the visuals alone of this game, like really appeal to me. They're just like really dark, and especially like we were talking about the soundtrack. It's just, I don't know, it just has an awesome, really good feel to it. I mean, I used to play Sonic Spinball back in the day, which
oh my god, Sonic
which was a pinball.
This looks kind of like that. I mean,
it is
on a pinball. I
mean, it's on the Genesis too.
Right.
But in Sonic Spinball, you pretty much had Sonic in his spin form, and you're knocking him around. Kind of a similar type of idea, but this is just like dark. Like
oh, I can see her coming alive now. Yeah, the pinball actually just went into her head. I never heard of this game or even seen this game before.
I never did either. I just kind of clicked on it, and I was like, oh my god, what is this?
And that's why I think this is going to be a really cool segment going forward. You know, maybe we'll come up with a different name for it, but yeah, Mr. Tibbins' Raspberry Pi, where you reach in, you find a game, there's going to be, I mean, you said you have everything on here, there's going to be games you've heard of before, I mean, and this is ridiculous. Now, do you know if this game was released in the US? Like, was this or was this only Japan? I mean, I don't know.
You know, I didn't. I mean, all the text is in English, so I would assume.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I didn't even put that together. Yeah, all this says bonus stage. It's not on. Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I also think from what I was looking at that there was a sequel to this. Okay. I didn't play. I did have it on there. I'd never played it because I just got caught up in playing this one, I was kind of enthralled by it.
I want to play nothing but this game now. I love pinball. I'm a huge fanatic of pinball.
Oh,
man.
me too, man.
And it is just, it is amazing. Let me get this out of here now.
Yeah,
that was fantastic, dude.
Definitely
yeah, no.
if anybody can find
Dragon's Fury, you heard it from Mr. Tibbins. It's a fantastic game. Dragon's Fury on Genesis, if you can find it, or if you can find it either. If you bought a Raspberry Pi, you can go ahead and play that wherever you decide to go. So,
or if there's a magical physical copy floating around somewhere, I don't even know what it goes for.
I have no idea. It could be 5 cents. It could be $5 million. Probably no in retro gaming today. How would you know? So,
right.
Well, that's amazing, man. What else have you been playing? I mean, I'm sure because you're a big gamer. I'm sure you played some other stuff. I mean, I know there's a lot of betas and stuff going on. Have you played anything else?
That was mostly what I played. I played I got into the Gears of War beta, which is now open currently through the weekend.
Nice. I'll have to try this.
Which is cool. And I played the Mirror's Edge closed beta. I got into that, and they were both really cool.
How was the Mirror's Edge beta or the Mirror's Edge beta?
It was really interesting because I was a big fan of the original Mirror's Edge.
It was a nice game.
Very
nice
it was just really different. It was first-person free-running game, so the main concept of that game is that you're pretty much running and trying to traverse this level while climbing and platforming in first person.
Yeah, like a first-person parkour experience when you're running around a city, jumping over hurdles, and there's really no fighting or combat or anything like that.
There's like combat, but it's more. I mean, you don't even have to engage in combat. You can run past enemies.
I remember when I played the game, I never really fought anybody. I kind of slid under stuff and jumped.
Yeah, I mean, there's even an achievement for being a pacifist playthrough, just running and getting through everything.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
So what is this like? What is Mirror's Edge 2? Like, what can we expect? I mean, is it an open world? Is it more kind of just a linear kind of progression? I mean,
so
more enemies or
the first game was more of a linear experience. It was just a linear type game,
right?
And you pretty much are just traversing levels, trying to platform through them. The new ones actually, they opened it up to a big open world game where there's a whole giant city. I mean, you're not walking on the ground ever because Mirror's Edge was all about. You're this courier and you're in a futuristic dystopian, like sterile looking clean city where you're just jumping rooftop to rooftop,
right,
doing stuff like that. And there's some indoor stuff, but yeah, the new one's a big open world now, so you kind of get missions like any other open world game and side quests. And you can do side quests like where they be like, oh, deliver this package in under a minute. So you got to find like the quickest route to like where they want you to go.
And see, this is what actually really interested me about Mirror's Edge 2 was the future of the franchise, because Mirror's Edge did things in ways that we've never really seen games. Like you can control Faith as the main character in the game.
Yeah,
you can control her and do things in ways that you can't do in other games, and it kind of takes a new perspective on a first person game, right? And then I was wondering like, where is it going to go from here, right? You give us this really kind of free flowing combat or movability throughout the world and things like that. So it's like, are we gonna get an open world? Are we gonna get like more characters? Or like that's what I was really interested in, was the future of the franchise. So it's really good to hear that they're implementing almost everything that I would have hoped.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the first game really felt like this like good idea. It wasn't a very long game, but you kind of felt like this.
Yeah, I don't remember it being very long. Maybe like 7 hours tops.
Around that. But you felt like this kind of cool, unique thing where it kind of became a little cult hit for people. Mm-hmm. And it's been years, and they're finally getting this out there, and they do a lot of new stuff. Mm-hmm. Pretty much all the open world stuff you'd expect, like progression systems where you're leveling up and getting new abilities, and just the mission structures of open world games is all kind of there. But I mean, it seems cool because it's just a big open world, and they kind of highlight you in the way to like get to the point you want to go.
Right.
But they always like stress that like this is just like the point we're suggesting. There's quicker points that you have to find. So I think the more you play the game, you're going to be able to like just blow through the city by learning like the rooftops and learning like, oh, I can get here like going this way or different. Just finding alternate routes. I think that'll be a big part of the game.
Yeah, because I do remember that, like in the original one, that like you can go up or over, or you can go around or down underneath. Like there wasn't like a whole like jump to the another building to get around these guys. Like there wasn't so much that, because it was like you had to go to this building to the next section and things like that. Like I mean, it was somewhat linear. But yeah, this sounds fantastic, where it's like, okay, you could actually plot your routes or do what you need to do, try to get there quicker, safer, whatever. If there's a bunch of enemies on a building, you don't have to like go through them or under them. Like you can do a sneak, or you could whatever. So that's
there's still all sorts of different enemies that you're fighting too, and they have a new combat system which felt a lot better because you can kind of like knock enemies into each other, and they'll do
Right.
damage to each other and like stumble and stuff, which is
Oh my
cool.
god, that sounds fantastic. It sounds like everything. This is coming out on Xbox One, PS4,
PS4
and I'm
and
assuming
PC.
PC as well. Awesome.
And it looks really beautiful. I don't know how they got it, and it runs at 60 frames per second from what I could tell.
Mm.
I don't know how they got the fidelity of this, but it looks really nice and runs and plays really good. It seems like it's going to be a really solid game.
I remember talking about this a couple weeks ago when I was doing Gaming News Weekly on Sunday nights, where you know, I remember the beta was coming, but you could only get into it through invitation. So how did you get into this beta? Like, did you apply for it, or
my one friend actually got 2 keys somehow, and he was like,
Nice.
"Oh, you want one?" I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Oh, fuck yeah!
I was like, "I want one."
Because it wasn't open to the public. I mean, you had to be invited.
This was
or
like a
whatnot to
really
get into
strict
this, so.
closed beta. It was
Yeah,
weird.
it's weird. So that's what I was wondering. Like, what was it? Was it like this wasn't just it wasn't like Battleborn or Doom, where like literally anybody, you know, or Battle.
Yeah, it wasn't
Battlefront
open.
Get into it. So
Invitation only beta.
I'm
But
glad you
yeah,
glad you got into it, man.
I was really impressed with what I saw.
So you think you'll pick it up when it comes out? There's no date for it yet, but
I think it was supposed to come out in May, but they delayed it a month.
Mm,
So I'm guessing June sometime.
very soon. Okay, cool. Yeah, I thought we were still talking like after, you know, maybe in the fall or possibly even.
No, this
like,
is gonna be
holiday or something like
summer
that.
release now.
Very cool. Wow,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I have not been so fortunate. I'm actually, I'm still playing Bravely Default, getting a little more or not Bravely Default, excuse me, Bravely Second, still getting further in the game, learning a lot more about the game, and it's actually like way different than I ever thought that it would be. There's a lot of different things in the game, but I've been playing this game right here. It's called Rodea, the Sky Soldier on Wii U.
Oh.
Another terrible Wii U game that came out.
Oh, no.
I'm actually recording a video about that, about the playthrough and things like that. It's okay. It's okay. It was made by Yuji Naka, the guy that made the Sonic the Hedgehog games back in the 90s, and he made Nights into Dreams.
Really?
You ever
Oh,
played-
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and basically that game is like a spiritual successor to Nights into Dreams. It was supposed to be this. It's really weird, this release, dude. So Rodea the Sky Soldier. It's the last release on Wii ever. So when you buy the game, you get the Wii game. They give you a Wii game, and then they give you the Wii U game, which I don't know. It's the mic thing. But anyway, yeah, they give you 2 discs. They give you the Wii, and then they also give you the fucking Wii manual and stuff like that. So,
Huh.
and I'm also going to be talking, like, I think this possibly may be a collector's item on the Wii U eventually, because...
I'm looking at a video of this. Like, what the hell is it? It looks like you're flying all around.
Well,
and-
basically, it's quite a weird game. Essentially, I mean, I'm not too far into it, but basically, you're this guy here, Rodea. He is he's a sky soldier of this princess, and basically, like, you jump. You jump up and you attack orbs and you attack enemies. It's like Knights essentially. Like if you remember that free flowing combat in air, you had to like boost off something to get momentum to go after something else or whatever.
Right.
I mean that's essentially what it is. And there's also it's kind of a beautiful game on Wii U, but the gameplay I'm just not into it yet. I've been playing it and I'm trying to get.
I mean, it looks cool visually.
It is really cool. Yeah, I mean and you know the voice acting is really well done. I mean you know that it's by Yuji Naka, so I mean it's like you know like Knights and the original Sonic games and things like that. So like there is this like somewhat layer of polish there. It was actually published by NIS America too as well. So there's a whole bunch of like really kind of interesting things happening with this. But you know I would recommend picking this up if you find it because I picked it up for $20 and the only the first copies are gonna have this the Wii disc and then the Wii manual, and I think
It's weird.
yeah, it's really weird. It's like a special, like, oh, thanks for buying it, like the first print kind of thing. And it's the last Wii disc ever printed. Like,
wow.
So it's like the last Wii game, and it's also probably the last Wii U game. No, I'm just joking.
Does it use like motion controls? Because
It does. You know, the Wii disc does, but they did away with it on the Wii U version. And
okay.
I haven't played the Wii version yet. But surprisingly enough, the Wii version is actually somewhat a little bit better of a game because they tried polishing and making look a little bit prettier for Wii U, and it actually takes away some of that like anime art style that the game has, and like doing what they did to it on Wii U, it actually kind of looks like it's in like Unreal Engine 4, where it looks kind of like everything looks like kind of like almost like realistic. But it's not really at that level yet. I mean, you know, because the Wii U's not as powerful as current gen as we know, you know, the gen today. You know, so but something about the Wii game though, it just has this like really kind of interesting charm to it, where it's just like it looks like it's supposed to be made in this world. And this game was not released here. It was a Wii game came out in Japan a few years ago. I think like 2010, 2009, I want to say, and then they wanted to bring it here. Yuji Naka was trying to bring it over. Nobody wanted to publish it. Nintendo didn't want to publish it. So NIS was like, hey, we'll take it. What the hell? NIS is always like, we'll take it, So, yeah, they published it here, and so if you pick it up before the first print runs out, yeah, you can experience the last Wii game, which is this one, and then
cool.
and it's the same game. It's just like it just looks different. I mean, it's like the Wii game was built for the Wii, so it's not as there's not as many cell shaders and all this kind of stuff on there, right? This background particle effects, all this kind of shit's not in there. But in the Wii U game, it's like it's pretty and it looks fun. But I mean, I'm not really feeling the gameplay yet. Nights was just so much more free flowing through the world of collecting things and going around doing things.
Right.
In this game, it feels really stiff. Like I want to fly, I do, and it's fun when you're flying. But then like you hit a wall and you have to stop flying, and then you turn in the air, and then you have to find a projectile and then shoot towards that. So it's like I wish I could just
doesn't
go bounce,
have like
bounce,
that flow to it.
There's no like the
kind of breaks it
element.
up.
It breaks it up, and that's what I'm feeling right now. But I'm actually making a little bit of a video about it, like should you play it,
Cool.
why I think it's gonna be rare and stuff eventually. So, but yeah, that's what I've been playing that, and some other stuff too. So, but yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you got into the beta and not playing Roadie as this guy's soldier.
Yes.
What do you say, man? You want to jump into some news? You ready for news?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, there's a whole bunch of news to cover. This week was really bad in many more ways than one. We have just basically a ton of bad news to tell you guys today. I'm going to let everybody know that right now. We're sorry. Bad news from Nintendo all over the place, all over the board.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad shit going on with Nintendo.
It's kind of just, I don't even know where to begin with this. But before we get into the Nintendo news, I do want to kind of bow our heads and talk about the first bit of bad news today. It's an end of an era, folks. Fable developer Lionhead Studios closes today. We're recording this on what day is it today? Friday, April 29th today. They closed today, April 29th. So if you guys are going to be listening to this a little bit later, they're done. So basically, after nearly 20 years and a plethora of genre-defying titles, legendary British developer Lionhead closes its doors today, April 29th, for the last time. Early last month, general manager at Microsoft Studios, this is according to IGN, Microsoft Studios Europe, Hanno Lennick broke the news that Lionhead would enter a consultation period to discuss the possibilities of a closure, according to, excuse me, according to Lemke. I pronounce his name, I can't read. Yeah, Hanno Lemke. After much consideration, we have decided to cease development on Fable Legends and are in discussions with employees about the proposed closure of Lionhead Studios in the UK. With the consultation period over and no potential buyers in sight, today, Friday, April 29th, marks the last day in the history of the esteemed developer. So this sucks. It sucks anytime a developer has to close its doors, man.
Yeah.
Especially such an esteemed studio like Lionhead. I mean, their first
they
game,
made a lot of good games.
I mean, Peter Molyneux founded this company or this developer back in 1996 when he broke away from Bullfrog Studios. But
yeah,
I mean, they created so many good games. I mean, obviously all the Fable games, but not just those. Black and White.
Right,
2001 was like one
which
of my
was
favorite
like
piece of games.
one of the original God games. Like
it was insane.
Peter Molyneux like created that genre.
I mean, and you kind of see Peter Molyneux in Black and White because he kind of. I mean, I love the guy. I mean, but he's kind of a feisty guy, and he's got kind of. He's got kind of a.
He's kind of egocentric. Like
ego
I'm going to
gets in
make
the
the
way
best game
sometimes.
ever, and then he just delivers nothing.
And I mean, that's what eventually happened over time. I don't even know if he was working with Lionhead anymore.
No, he left a few years, probably more than a few years ago. So that was probably part of what was happening to this. Maybe they didn't have the leadership anymore to drive these like big games.
And that's usually what happens when developers close down like this. It's like something has been lost, or they get caught in a rut, kind of like this developer had done. I mean, listen to the games they've done, right? So we have Black and White in 2001. Yes. We have Fable, the
original Fable,
the original Fable in 2004.
Great
one
game.
of the fantastic game. I mean,
which pretty much was like Microsoft's Zelda, I guess you could call it. It was kind of that style of game.
Perfect. It's perfect description of it. But the thing about it was, what I loved about Fable was that you can go down a good road or a bad road, and like your character actually grew in that way, whatever way you went. So if you were making like really bad decisions, your guy grew horns. He turned into an asshole. He's like flicking people off and stuff.
Too, like
you turn into a dark. I know, it was insane, and you did
really
these side
cool.
quests. And you could choose to help people or hurt people or whatever, hurt, kill or whatever. And it was just really kind of fascinating in 2004 for a game like that.
Yeah.
And it just blew me away. But yeah, talk a little, and we'll go into some more. I'll talk about a couple more games, and then we'll kind of share our memories. But the other games they had was Fable 2 in 2008, Fable 3 in 2010. They had the hack and slash Fable Heroes in 2012, which was, I think, was that the Kinect game? I think that was the.
Or maybe that was Journey. I think. Was that
Journey?
Yeah, Journey was the Kinect game.
Fable, the Journey was the Kinect in 2014. Yeah. Okay, right, I got that confused. Sorry about that. So they really did get stuck in right away. It was like Fable
Heroes was like a weird beat 'em up game that wasn't very good.
Oh god, I didn't even hear that.
Yeah,
I don't even think that's even on this list that I have right here. But some other games they had, Black and White, as we said, the game was fantastic. You built this like civilization. It was kind of like it was like a god simulator essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, you were god.
You play a god
people,
and
and then like they would they would come up to you and they would like worship you and like they would like need stuff from you and everything. It was really cool.
Like, and you could like make it rain and like flood their village with fire.
Yeah, I know. They like we
do evil shit.
Yeah, like we need to save our village. We don't have enough food, so you like give them a little bit of rain, or you can like flood the shit out of them and destroy them all. They're like, oh my god.
That's like one thing Molyneux always does with his games is play with like morality, just like Are you going to be a good person or a bad person? And it doesn't matter.
To a T. And I mean, that you see that in Black and White. You see that in Fable. And then there's one on here that I didn't really know about. We were talking about this before the podcast. It was called The Movies in 2005. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I've never played that game.
The Movies was a PC game. It was kind of like, the roller coaster tycoon games?
Oh, yes. Like where you can theme park and stuff like that? Where you can,
it was like kind of that. Like in Roller Coaster Tycoon, you like build a theme park.
You decide like if you want to like.
It's just a sim game. You could build like roller coasters and
you would have to like maximize your track in or something like that.
Yeah, like and the Movies was basically a simulation game like that, but you're in charge of a movie lot and you build like a movie lot, and as you level up and get more money, you can build like a sci-fi set or a horror set.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it kind of progresses from early Hollywood to like modern times. So you start out and you actually like you hire like actors and they get good at certain genres, and like you release films and you get money based on how well they do. Jeez. But it would actually, you could actually make like videos, like not like the game's in a top down perspective when you're playing, but when you'd shoot videos, you could actually edit and make like these actual videos that you'd see. Wow. And a lot of people would like upload that stuff to YouTube, and you get like new props.
How have I never heard of this game before? That's insane.
Yeah, it was more of a PC game, probably.
Right. Yeah, I was more of a console guy growing up, so still am. So yeah.
But they made 2 games based on that, and they were like very popular on PC.
And then that's the thing that always sucks when developers close like this. I mean, like maybe that driving force to have games like that, it has been gone with this developer for some time, because they did get stuck in this rut of Fable, and they just gotten worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Finally, Fable Legends gets canceled. But then I mean, it's just like there was such a rich history with this developer. I mean, it's like if Rare went out, right? I mean, I know they're not really the same team anymore and things like that, but I mean, it's like you would be talking about like Banjo-Kazooie and Killer Instinct and all that stuff like that, but I mean they're still around today or whatnot. So, but but it's just like this, like when a developer has been around for this long and has such a rich history.
Yeah, it was one of Microsoft's like main first party type of studios.
They in a sense defined what the Xbox was going to do. I mean, back in 2004, they were creating experiences that people had no idea that they could have on a console before, which was cool. And like because they already like really made that known on PC with Black and White, but then when Fable came out and they were like, wow,
Fable was a big one for Xbox. Yeah, I remember getting my Xbox and getting that game and being pretty blown away with it, because the visuals of it at the time were really crazy looking,
right? And
just what you could do in Fable, it was unlike anything else on a console.
So and the thing that even sucks more about this is like the acquisition period for this, because this developer is already over.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen with it now. I mean, probably like what happened with...
I mean, they'll keep all the IPs. Like, who knows if they'll do anything with them? I don't know. Yeah, because Fable Legends was shown at the past couple E3s, but it wasn't really a Fable game. It was like a multiplayer co-op game where...
It was like an MMO, wasn't it?
No, it was more of this like... I think it was like a 4-player game where you would each take a different role, and you'd go through like procedurally generated levels and clear them out and level up, and it was kind of like that, like a dungeon crawler, a third-person game. So it wasn't really a Fable game. It was just they just
like
kind
a
of
spin-off
slapped
or
a
something.
name on it, I guess.
Yeah.
So, from what I heard, it wasn't that good from people reviewing it, and they probably just were like cut their losses and
I mean, at that
canceled
point
it.
you have
With
to.
that,
Yeah.
they were probably just like, well, this studio's done.
Yeah, and it just sucks. But I mean, it's like every time a developer closes down, especially for somebody like Lionhead who's been around for the past 20 years. I mean, it's just like, you know, I mean, we wish the best of the team, and I hope they find good jobs. I mean, I'm sure they probably will, but it's just it just sucks. And that's the first bit of the bad news we got today.
Yes.
So let me see. So you want to move on to the next thing?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next thing. Let's see. So hopefully they all find good jobs and all that kind of stuff like that at Lionhead.
Yeah,
well, actually, let's break it up a little bit. We have some good news, but it's kind of bad news in a sense. We're going to talk a little bit more here. Okay, so basically, the rest of the show is going to be dedicated to a ton of Nintendo stuff. Nintendo released a ton of information this week. Not all of it is good, but we're going to get into it. We're going to chunk it down piece by piece by piece by piece. But the second topic of the show today is we're going to be talking about mobile games and how Nintendo is kind of moving into this market at this point in time. Basically, the next bit of news we have is Fire Emblem, Animal Crossing mobile games are on the way. And also, Miitomo hits 10 million downloads. So, this is pretty interesting for Nintendo. Miitomo, many as you know, maybe some of you don't know. It's a mobile app. It's basically a friend app. They kind of have created a new social.
It's a
media
social
app
interaction app. Like
that basically, you have a Mii like on the Wii's and stuff like that, and then like you can send them to your friends and like learn stuff about them, and it's not censored. Like,
it's fucking weird.
What do you drink? I drink bags of dicks all day. It's just like, oh, okay, cool, that's fine. Whatever you want to drink. Like, it's not censored by anyone. It's just ridiculous. I didn't expect that. I thought like, you know, it was gonna be like Miiverse. Like you'd go on there and it would be like, you can't say this, you can't do this. Oh, you're banned for 2 weeks or whatever.
And you know what I'm thinking about? What it is? I think it's like a clever way of doing market testing because they're asking all these personal questions. Maybe they're like collecting all this data.
I mean, that's kind of what Facebook does. Like, hey, do you like Target?
Exactly.
Hey, oh man, you like Target? Shit. Oh fuck, now you like Walmart. Oh, I love Walmart. You know?
I mean, maybe they'll start marketing bags of Nintendo dicks at people.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, yeah. I mean, they ask you like, hey, what's your favorite pasta? What's your favorite food? Where do you like to go on the weekends? What are you doing right now? It's like,
where are you?
Stop me, Tomo. How much do you want to know? They're gonna
Social security number.
They're gonna
What's
break
your
in
blood
my
type?
house. I know. I'm gonna have like little Miitomo me men coming in my house in the middle of the night.
Nintendo's gonna be planting bloody knives in your.
I know. It's like, oh my god, it wasn't me. I swear, I didn't do it. I didn't kill the Star Fox franchise. It was not me.
Do a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll. Ah, the window. So, as part of its full year financial report, which we will get to, and this comes from Game Informer, Nintendo has revealed what's next for its mobile rollout. The company says it has 2 games launching this fall based on popular franchises. So we're actually getting full games on mobile and not an app or a companion app or something like that, or a mobile social media app or something. Fire Emblem is first up. Nintendo says that it will be more accessible than other entries in the series. The Fire Emblem mobile game, and then also an Animal Crossing title is also in the works. The company says that there are connections between the mobile game and their titles for dedicated gaming systems. It's unclear if this means a new Animal Crossing game is in the works, or if it will tie into the Happy Home Designer or New Leaf. So I mean, it could tie into one of these games, but it could be. It sounds like it's. I mean, this is all. It was just announced, so we don't really have any information on what this could be. We could do some speculation on it. And then also, Miitomo was released or has more than 10 million downloads throughout the world. That's insane. So, I don't know. What do you think about this, man? What do you think about mobile gaming? Let's talk a little bit about mobile gaming, where it's come, where we're at with it right now, and Nintendo kind of easing their way into this market. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest mobile gamer. I think when you first get a smartphone, you kind of are. You kind of get into that, and then it's just kind of wanes off.
It's so accessible. You go to the App Store, and it's just like free games, free games. It's like fucking Steam. Like you're just like, oh my god, they all suck, you know.
But there is some good shit out there.
No, there is. That's true.
Did you ever play Hitman Go?
I did not, but I did play Lara Croft Go, and Lara Croft Go was fantastic.
I did not play that.
Okay, yeah, no, that was good, and they're in the same kind of thing.
What was it like Hitman Go, where you have this top-down view and you're
it's top-down, and
on
then
the shifting pegboard kind of thing?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
And like you swipe in a direction,
Yeah.
and then there's
And
enemies.
everything moves when
and then
you move.
There's enemies on the board, and like once you swipe, they move, and then so you have to swipe in the opposite direction, and they'll move. And there's traps you have to jump over, and then you have to get a spear. To take out snakes, like if they're facing you, they'll attack you if you jump on their board. So it's
it
kind
sounds
of like
the same thing. It's just more themed towards Lara Croft.
I think it is. Yeah,
that's cool.
I know Hitman Go also got released on the PS Vita, and I think on the PS4 as well. And I think Lara Croft. I think Lara Croft Go is just on phones, and I know it's on. I know it's on the Windows Store because I bought it on my PC as well because it's so much fun. I was playing it.
I mean, Hitman Go is really cool because it's just you play. What's his name? Agent 47.
Agent 47.
Yeah, and you're pretty much like making your way through guards, and you kind of can be stealthy about stuff. Like you can pick up on the pegboard, like you're pretty much sliding him on a slot board. And you can pick up like rocks and throw them to like make guard pegs turn around, and like go in a different direction and go up behind them and like choke them out.
Awesome. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So you like carry their bodies and stuff like that? Like
no, they just kind of like topple over like a board game piece. Like,
oh man, that's cool though. I like that. That's awesome. And that's kind of what happens in Lara Croft Go. Like you'll fight the snakes and they'll just like fizzle up, or like there's these big spiders. You'll shoot them and they'll go they'll go creepy, you know, and like or whatever. So
yeah, but those are fun mobile experiences, and I think games like Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing will probably work well with a mobile experience, because Fire Emblem, you're not doing like really intricate, intense like control movements.
Right.
You can just touch a grid and tell your people where to go.
And you just have to kind of know, you know, with the Fire Emblem triangle, swords beat SAL, swords beat axes, axes beat lances, lances beat swords. But then I'm thinking like they might make this like really accessible, which is pretty exciting because. If anybody can make, because Fire Emblem was a very technical, very kind of
you can get
deviant game at times. You can get really deep, and like and there's permadeath, and I mean the game can really screw you, and you might, you know, once you start getting really late in the game. I mean they have changed some things with the Fire Emblem, specifically the last two releases, Fire Emblem Awakening and Fire Emblem Fates. They have actually, you can play without permadeath, but all the games released prior to these newer ones, there was permadeath. So if you died, if you lost a character, he's not coming back to the whole game. There are no Phoenix Downs, as they say. So so I'm thinking in this grid type of world or whatnot, like, you know, they could get rid of the kind of difficult aspects of the way that Fire Emblem kind of works. Like, you know, if you have a sword, you know, you beat axes, and if you have an axe, you don't want to go after a sword because they have more range on you and stuff like that. So they might be able to get rid of that stuff, and then at the same time just show it to more people, which is cool. You know, because Fire Emblem always was always like the kind of really difficult type of game that was kind of a niche IP for Nintendo. You know, I mean, it's not your Zelda, it's not your Mario, it's not your Donkey Kong, it's not even your Super Metroid.
Yeah, it's a strategy game.
Right, it's a strategy game through and through, and it's just there's so many of these like really technical levels to it, permadeath and this attack method and things like that. You know, so it's kind of like. A lot of people probably didn't really catch on to it, so I think this excites me to like be able to get it out there to the masses that have phones or whatnot, and maybe they'll pick this up and try it for $5 and really like Fire Emblem, and they might want to go try the other games, and that's awesome. You know, that's my thing. Like I want people to play as many games as they can, especially games they never played before.
I also think like Animal Crossing will probably translate well, especially if they kind of integrate like a Miitomo type thing in it, where you can connect to your friends' worlds and shit, and like maybe trade stuff with them. I'm sure they'll include microtransaction bullshit in it. It'll probably be like aesthetic stuff, but
like
I mean that could be like Animal Crossing forever, like pretty much. Animal Crossing operates on real time and real days and shit happening on real days, so that's something they could probably keep up with and update and keep offering new content.
And I remember when Animal Crossing New Leaf came out on the 3DS. I mean. There were like grown men, like not being able to sleep, like their wives were fighting.
It's like, no, I gotta wait till 12 o'clock
to
get the special panda cookies
I need
to
the
feed my dog daughter.
I know, and the dog's gonna go hungry. I gotta feed him the bells, and it's just like, oh my god.
No, Captain Whistletits is bringing his boat up at 1 in the morning. I need to be there.
I gotta stay there. I gotta be You know, and I mean, like, there's that's so accessible on a phone because you can just like literally, oh hey, I'm waiting for a bus, laying in bed. I mean, you could on a 3DS
You could probably even get like updates, like oh Captain Whistletits is here, like
yeah,
and then
like,
just
hey.
like bring up the app.
Toot toot. It's 1 o'clock, motherfucker.
His
Wake
chest
up.
is moving.
Wake the hell up. It's time to eat. So, I think Animal Crossing probably will fare a little bit better than Fire Emblem, but it's interesting to think that you're gonna be able to have such an accessible platform for these games, especially I don't know Fire Emblem, but
I think a lot of 3DS type, even console games would transfer well to the mobile department. Like Tamagotchi Life, they could probably bring to there, which is a crazy ass game.
That's kind of like Miitomo. I mean, I think that's what the idea from Akira. It was like the testing ground, and then they brought it over.
Yeah, it's similar flavor of game. And what other game was I thinking of? Oh, like Brain Age Academy would be really cool.
Oh yeah,
like those kind of games would be really neat.
That would work very well actually.
Yeah,
like little brain
I think people.
Like
I think they would sell like crazy amounts of Brain Age games if they made them. Because people love that shit. It's great.
Yeah, they really do, man. I just hope like the pricing is going to be okay on these. That's the only thing that really kind of scares me. Nintendo has always been a company that they have so much pride in their IP, and they like.
Yeah, they will not let go on the. They will not budge on price.
I mean, they just now released some like Nintendo Select games. Like I mean, one of them was Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. You're like, holy shit, really? That game came out in '98. I know they remastered it. But I mean, it was like a $39.99 game forever. Then you couldn't find it. It was like really rare. People were paying like $70, $80 on eBay, and then they re-released it, and then the same thing happened, and they sold out. But now it's $19.99, and it's just like it's been years and years and years and years and years for these games to come down in price. So I'm wondering, are these going to be Square Enix level games where like Final Fantasy IV is $15.99, or are we going to be somewhere around like I don't know, or
the more sinister part, are they going to be free games?
Yeah, you know what they mean by free games.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna be free. You're gonna get all your bells and whistles. It's like, oh, you know what? You can't move this many spaces in Fire Emblem unless you pay this amount of money.
Right.
That was one of the things that always scares me about mobile gaming. I remember a few years ago, when I was writing for this one website. And I did a story on there was a Need for Speed game. It was going to be I think it was called Need for Speed Go or something like this. It was a Need for, and basically they charged you for gas in your car. So,
what?
Yes, I know, it was ridiculous, and I got so much hate mail. And I was like, I didn't fucking make the game, and it was like, yeah, basically, you were allowed to drive. It was basically pay to play. You were able to drive and go for so long. And then once you played for so long or ran out of gas, you had to buy more gas. So I mean, it was like
see, that's like horseshit. Like I just want to buy a game. Just let me buy it, and then offer aesthetic shit that people can buy. Then you can make steady income like that.
And that's the ultimate problem that we've been having with mobile gaming, and I think it's a really big reason why people don't consider it like a real gaming platform.
Well, and that's the reason I stopped buying mobile games or being interested in them, because I like buying my games and just having that.
Like, have you ever like looked at a mobile game and like were really interested? I mean, before like Hitman Go, like I mean that was like it's like a 5-hour game.
No, because all of those games are built for quick experiences. They're not built for prolonged sitting.
Like Rat on a Scooter or Infinite Runners and stuff. Yeah,
they're meant for like, oh, I have a break at work, or I'm riding a bus, or I'm on a plane or something.
So I mean, I hope Nintendo can do some really great things in this arena. I think it's a little bit late for them to be coming to this arena. I mean, I don't know. I mean, my biggest
I think they'll do well though. I mean, from what Miitomo went, and that was just. It's not even really a game. It's just a social experience.
When you think about mobile gaming now, it's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? And Nintendo entering this is kind of that sword. It's like the good aspects are that that mobile gaming is so fucked up right now. It's like people don't consider it real games. There's DLC. I mean, they're charging for gas and Need for Speed and shit. I mean, it's just like it's such a broken kind of place where it's like, oh, it's a free game, but then you got to pay to play. You can only play for so long until you can move on. Oh, you want the next level or you want the next thing, DLC, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, like, mobile gaming's been around for so long, and then because that has already been established. is Nintendo gonna like fall to this? Are they going to come in here and try to change it? I mean, I don't know. It's scary. Like, do they see this as like, okay, we're losing money, which we'll get to. We'll get to that. Yeah. We're losing money, so we need to make some quick cash. And we've seen companies like EA and Activision and tons of these other Square Enix is a great example of that. They've made really quick turnaround on mobile platforms, and they are some of the games they're offering are literally pay to play, these really quick kind of bullshit experiences, like but there's some good ones, like Infinity Blade was a good game. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, Infinity Blade's great.
Chaos Rings and things like that. But I mean, I don't know. I'm scared. I am. I don't know. It's just like mobile games have been around for such a long time, and it's not good in many, many, many ways. But maybe Nintendo can change it. Maybe that's their whole kind of plight to do this, is that they want to try to make
I would hope so.
A thing.
I mean, or maybe they're going to move to like a subscription-based service where you get like certain games, or who knows?
It's a little scary, and I mean, I don't know what they're doing. Could they change? Do they like? What are their intentions? Like, we don't really know. Like, Nintendo kind of just like woke up one day and they were like, "Oh, let's start making mobile games," and it's just like, why? You've never wanted to do this. I mean, mobile gaming has been around since like 2008.
Yeah, roughly? I think they're finally capitulating because they kind of blamed like mobile games on what killed the Wii U. Like, that's what they were like talking about. Like,
essentially the tablet, the gamepad is
right.
it's an iPad.
It's like, well, you should have made the tablet be able to like bring with you instead of just not even be tethered like 6-7 feet from the console, which is a huge problem with the Wii U. I hate that so much. Like, I'll be in my bed and then I lay in like across the room, like my Wii U's here and I'm in my bed and sometimes I have connection issues. It's just like, I don't know what's happening. It's like, I can see you. What the hell? What do you mean you don't know? There's no walls.
There's no walls, but I can't see you. It's like, holy shit, I'm right here. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's like something with my Wii U. I don't know. But still, I don't know. It's kind of an interesting time for Nintendo to be getting into it now, when a lot of developers are getting away from it and they're turning into indie developers and bringing their games to consoles and doing things like that, and Steam and other kind of platforms. So it's really weird for Nintendo to be going this route. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Maybe they're just getting desperate. They need that money.
Well, getting desperate. You got to get desperate in desperate times. Let's go ahead and jump into the next segment of the show. Well, we're going to talk about more Nintendo news, and it's not good. It is not good. Nintendo just recently released their financial report for the year that went from March 2015 to April 2016. And it's not good. It's not good. Basically, we'll talk a little bit about this, and then this is going to branch out into some other stuff basically this week, I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday this week, Nintendo just like dropped the bomb about a bunch of stuff. They dropped their financials, and in doing that, they announced when the NX is coming out, and like when Zelda NX and Wii U are coming out. Like, all this stuff is correlated with this one big story that we're going to talk about now, and the rest of the show will be about we'll go on Nintendo and what's happening kind of with them. But, since we're halfway through the show, I just want to thank everybody for joining us. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. I fixed my microphone, so yes. I hope that's better.
Sounds a lot better.
It sounds a lot better. Yeah, it's the one that I've been using, but I had some issues trying to figure out delay and all this kind of whatever. But I fixed it, and yeah, it does sound a lot better, so I'm not going to have too many more issues of popping and getting really loud, and getting really quiet, and getting really loud, and getting really quiet like I had last time, so... But yeah, no, if you're watching, thank you so much for being here. We can't do this without you guys. Your constant love and views and support. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. LyfCast would not be what it is without you guys.
Yes.
So in saying that, Nintendo suffers a 60% drop in profits in their most recent fiscal year. This is according to Game Informer, who broke this down very nicely. Nintendo has reported its year-end financials, and while the company has closed in the black, the results show staggering decline. So they're not like in the red, so they're making a little bit of money, but they're not. They're losing money essentially. While sales only show a slight dip, net profits dropped 60.6% to 16.5 billion yen, which translates to $148.5 million. Nintendo operating income is a bright spot among the financial report, with a jump of 23.7% to which is roughly 32.9 billion yen. That's $296 million. With the NX now known to be coming in 2017 and the new Zelda delayed again, Nintendo is hinging in the first 9 months of its new fiscal year on 3DS. So basically, it's not good for Wii U, as we know. Roughly, there were
which it hasn't been for a while.
It hasn't been since since the console launched in 2012. They announced there's only been 18 million Wii U's sold up to this point, which in 4 years it came out in I think in September of 2012, right around that area.
Yes, not good.
It's really not good. In this last year, they actually sold 3 million Wii U's.
Which is really not good.
Which is really not good. And so you can actually see why these sales are declining. And as we know, there's really no third-party support on the Wii U. I mean, there's a little bit. There's Ordeal the Sagat holder.
Right.
You know, there's really not a lot of third-party support.
And plus the announcement, well, not direct announcement, but that the fact that there is a new console coming out in under a year, people aren't going to buy the Wii U. And there's no like major games announced really either.
That's the big thing. In this financials report, as we kind of briefly talked about, but people have been talking about the NX, Nintendo. What is it? Where's it coming? There's been all these rumors and speculation. People have been releasing fake controllers and fake everything. Oh, this game's coming. That game's coming. Oh, people are talking about this. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt. But this is truth. This comes directly from the source themselves, Nintendo. In their financials report, it has been confirmed that NX will be coming March 2017.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what are they going to do for the rest of this year?
I think they're just going to ride it out hard, you know?
I mean, it's
take a big hit and just...
They're literally going to put everything on the 3DS at this point, and a lot of their big games on the 3DS are already out. Bravely Second and Project X Zone 2, Fire Emblem just came out. I mean, you know, all three of them. The Fire Emblem Fates was broken down into 3 parts. There was Birthright, Conquest, and then once you beat one of those, you got Revelations, which was like the next DLC or whatever. But you couldn't actually buy Revelations until you beat one of the other ones, or bought and then whatever, a certain amount of time passed, something like that. But anyway, I mean, it sounds essentially like they're putting everything on the 3DS. Excuse me.
Yeah.
The big one coming out is Pokemon Sun and Moon. I forgot about that. Pokemon Sun and Moon is coming out holiday. There's no direct date on that, but that is coming out supposedly. Hopefully, that's coming out this year. I really hope Pokemon Sun and Moon. That will definitely help them because Pokemon definitely helps. It always sells. X and Y sold roughly 14 million units in a year. So,
yeah, I mean, there is nothing coming out on the Wii. It's all 3DS literally coming out this year. Nothing is really announced for the Wii U. The only big game was that game, like we talked about beforehand, that Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Sharp FE.
Sharp FE.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, looks interesting and crazy.
I am interested because it's essentially Shin Megami Tensei mixed with Fire Emblem. And I mean, I'm in.
Sounds
like,
cool.
It's Persona Fire Emblem. I don't know. It sounds wild as all hell. You're running around Tokyo, and then basically a portal opens up over Tokyo, and then demons come out of it, and the demons are Fire Emblem characters, and they're trying to like suck all the energy out of people. It's like supposed to be like you're a pop star, and you're like supposed to fight.
And it revolves around pop music.
Music. It just sounds wild.
It sounds
like
batshit crazy, which is awesome.
It sounds like Atlas and Nintendo coming together to make this batshit amazing experience. So I'm really excited for that. I mean, I'm also kind of excited for Paper Mario Color Splash, which is the next iteration of Paper Mario. It looks very colorful. You're like running around the world with a paintbrush, throwing paint and color and doing all these things in this kind of dull world. So that looks pretty cool. But I mean, the only other really big games that came out, that we just had Star Fox Zero, and that is probably not going to really help them or do them any favors.
Like we talked about last week, that got trashed pretty hard.
Yeah, if you missed what we said last week, we talked about Star Fox Zero reviews, and basically everyone from GameSpot to IGN to Game Informer to Giant Bomb trashed it, and they just, I mean, I think some of the sites were actually fairly interested in it. If do you listen to Jim Sterling, Jimquisition?
No.
Oh, you should look at his listen to his Star Fox Zero review if you get a chance. He's like like, these sniveling snotty dog motherfuckers. He's just like he tears it a new asshole essentially. He goes apeshit on Star Fox Zero. He's like, oh man, he's just like this. That's his thing. He like tears it apart, and he just was saying like how he's like it's a miserable waste of experience. Like he's just like,
oh no.
Yeah, he really
is he harsher than Giant?
He way worse, man. Yeah, I mean Jim Sterling.
I'll have to check it out.
Jim Sterling's known for his for his fuck you attitude, you know, and he was just like, this game's a piece of shit. And then what was even funnier about this, I'm getting a little off topic, but I thought this was amazing. And I really have a lot of respect for Jim Sterling. I think he's a fantastic guy. He used to write for, I think, Destructoid it was. I could forget. I think it was. And then, but anyway, so he broke away from all that, and basically he's completely supported by fans and, you know, on Patreon and all these other different and all these different sites. So basically, as many of you guys know, or maybe some of you don't know, about a year or two ago, Nintendo started doing the Nintendo Partnership Program. So if you want to post Nintendo games on YouTube, you have to be a partner through them. You have to apply for a separate partnership,
or else you get content ID, and
they bring your games down.
They take all of your ad revenue.
Exactly, that's what they do. So what Jim Sterling did was, I was wondering, like, how is he going to do this? Because what is he going to do? So basically, this was funny as hell. So he's talking about the review, and he's not really showing any Star Fox Zero stuff. He's showing Metal Gear Solid 5 ending. He's showing Grand Theft Auto 5 parts. He's showing all these different games, and I'm like, what does this have to do with Star Fox? And then and then he shows a little bit of Star Fox here and there, or like commercials and stuff. But then at the end, he was like, if you guys wonder why I'm talking about Star Fox and showing you Grand Theft Auto 5, Metal Gear Solid 5, and all that stuff like that, it's because, like, those scenes were copyrighted scenes, and I want Nintendo and Rockstar, and I want all these companies to fight over this ad revenue now, because I'm going to be getting content strikes from everybody.
That's awesome.
And they're going to come into my channel, and they're going to be fighting over the slim pickings. I mean, he put in like he was like dancing to Tears for Fears and shit in the video. Like that, like the record companies are gonna come in and start getting like everything. They're gonna be like, oh my god. They're gonna fight him. And he's gonna be, and he was like this. He just dancing around to Tears for Fears.
Everybody wants to rule the world.
Exactly. And it was ridiculous. So yeah, you guys check out Jim Sterling if you've never had to, or if you've never heard from him before. He's actually.
And that's like another one of the big fuck ups that Nintendo's done, is like hurting the streamers. Well, I guess you're allowed to stream Nintendo games, but
as of now,
just like hurting people on YouTube that would give your games exposure, which they really need right now. Because games like this what were we just talking? Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Like, who the fuck's gonna know about that? Like, I'm sure like YouTubers would help get that game noticed and get people interested in Wii U.
Sure. Yeah, get it out there. But
it's like they just shit on those people, because.
And then at the same time, if you're on if you're a partner for Nintendo products, you're probably not able to talk trash about Nintendo products. You probably have.
You're not allowed, and on top of that, I think you're not allowed to play like. You have to be a Nintendo channel.
There's nothing else.
You can't play like Microsoft games.
Nothing. Yeah. Well, that's why you've seen a lot of not streamers, but you've seen a lot of content creators on YouTube. They're not doing Nintendo stuff anymore, because Nintendo is just. I mean, I loaded up a couple of videos on my YouTube channel, and I have 6 subscribers. I don't have anybody on my YouTube channel. Like, there's like nobody going there. I mean, you guys are going there and hanging out. Maybe eventually we'll get bigger. We're not to the levels of like Jim Sterling, who has like 300,000 subs or whatever.
Right.
But I mean, like, Nintendo content copyright strikes. I got strikes against me from Nintendo.
Yeah, content strike.
Yeah, and they were private videos. Like, I was gonna post them up there and download them, because there's no easy way to do it from Twitch to your computer. You can't download from Twitch anymore. They got rid of that.
Yeah.
So basically, you have to upload to YouTube and then download it, so then you can edit it all out. But I uploaded it to YouTube, did a private video, and then I got a content strike on that, on a private video that nobody was ever gonna watch except for me, with 6 subscribers, and they still content strike.
Yeah, that's one of the things that boggles my mind. It's like. Every other video game company doesn't really give a shit at all.
No wonder
except for
you're
Nintendo.
Down 60%. You're not getting the free advertisement from your real, true friends and gamers out there. The people that have been supporting you for. I've been supporting you my whole life. I'm 30. I've been supporting you since I was a baby. I mean, my first Christmas present was a Nintendo. That
was my first major system, wasn't it? Yes.
It wasn't my first major system, but it was my first I mean, my mom had an Atari 2600 I grew up on.
Yeah,
but
I had a 7800. That was my first system.
Yeah, that was the first.
Nintendo was the first system I like connected
with. I guarantee if Atari was around today and the way that Nintendo was, like, they would not be content striking motherfuckers.
Nah.
They'd be letting you be like, yeah, go play Pong. It's gonna be amazing. They would love that free advertisement, like many developers and other platforms do. But for some reason, Nintendo is just really taking it to the fans, and they're really trying to get as much money out of people as they can right now. And this is
like pissing people off. Like, they're pissing off their core fan base, who's hardcore Nintendo fans,
which they've been doing for some time, and it sucks. It sucks, and I'm a big Nintendo fan. You're somewhat of a Nintendo fan, but I mean, it's just like, you've been burned, I've been burned, we've all been burned by Nintendo up to this point, and I mean, it's starting to show. And I think. They've lost 60% in a year on Wii U and all these things. I mean, Amiibo is not saving them.
That's pretty crazy.
Amiibo is not saving them. That was a myth. People thought that, they're going to be okay because they're selling millions and millions and millions of Amiibo. I think the Amiibo phase, like, died out, essentially, because, like, now when you go to stores, certain ones were rare, Marth and
Well, and they're
Villager,
reproducing the rare ones
they're
that people
reproducing
can
them.
get.
So now I went to Toys R Us like a week ago just to walk around, and like there was just a whole shelf of a Villager.
Well, I remember like that Splatoon package, the 3-pack was really hard to find, and I see that everywhere
that's
now.
everywhere now. So there's going to be an oversaturation of that stuff now, and people aren't buying them. They have them. That's it. They're
Yeah.
So I don't really know what they're going to do. They need to do something else. So
Well, that's why they're taking this hit, because it's all up in the air at this point. People don't know what the NX is or why we should buy it, and people aren't going to buy the Wii U because there's something new coming out.
So yeah, I mean, so let's put this into perspective real quick. This is where Nintendo sits today. So in a year, from April 2015 to March 31st, 2016, Nintendo Wii U sales, they've only sold 800,000 units worldwide.
That's crazy.
The full and that's down from 3.3 million consoles from the fiscal year. Oh, excuse me, hold on a second. No, that's their expected. They're only expect to sell. Yeah, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. So they sold 3.3 million from April 2015 to March 2016, the end of March 2016. 3.3 million. That's it in a year. That's terrible.
That's still nothing.
And they only expect to sell 800,000 units. So now this is telling me, and that's worldwide. That's not even just in the Americas or Japan or wherever.
Yeah.
This is worldwide. So that's really telling me they don't have any games coming out.
That's not even the amount of a small city.
It's ridiculous. I just can't believe that Nintendo is putting themselves in this corner like this, and they're expecting,
I mean, is this the worst it's ever been for Nintendo? It seems like it.
I don't know. I mean, the GameCube era was also fairly bad, but it was not this bad.
But it wasn't that bad that they couldn't recover, because they came back and smashed everything with the Wii.
With the Wii, right? I know. And I'm trying to remember with the Virtual Boy, but the Virtual Boy was more of a one-off thing. I think
that was like 3 months and that thing was gone. The Virtual Boy.
I think the Virtual Boy sold somewhere between 9 and 14 million. I don't remember. But that's pretty crazy that if the Virtual Boy outsold the Wii U. This is it.
Sad.
I mean, the Wii U to date has 18 million units, roughly 19 million units in the world. And that's it, in the entire world. And
if the Virtual Boy beat that, that's fucking sad, because the Virtual Boy was a piece of shit.
I mean, the Dreamcast was able to sell 9 million in a year and a half. I mean, the Dreamcast was from 99 to 2001, and they pulled the plug on in 2001, unfortunately. Yeah. And I mean, they were able to sell 9 million units in that amount of time. I don't. It's just bad, man. I don't know what to do. So basically, in all of this, some more news was actually released about Zelda Wii U being held till 2017. So if you're thinking that if you're thinking about buying a Wii U this year, if you have a Wii U and you've been waiting for Zelda Wii U since Skyward Sword, which many of us has, I mean, they were showing us tech demos of Zelda Wii U back in 2012.
2 years ago, right? More than that.
When the console launched, they were like, "Hey, this is what Zelda Wii U is going to look like," and it was kind of in the Twilight Princess area art style. It was dark. I remember Link was fighting this big scorpion in this temple. I don't know if you saw this or not, but
and it's kind of like, isn't it kind of cell shaded a little bit too?
Well, yeah, now it is. Yeah, it's completely different.
Kind of like Wind Waker, but not as Wind Waker.
Not as Wind Waker. It looks kind of a mix between kind of Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, and Wind Waker. It's actually
I was going to say
three of them. So, so the next big news besides, and we're going to get back to some more financials with Nintendo. We're not stepping away from that because that actually is the umbrella of this entire story. And because of that, this is all this has come out because of it. But basically, so Zelda Wii U is not coming in 2016 as originally announced. It's coming now. It's going to be a NX launch title, so in March 2017, which I don't understand this. I don't understand this. This kind of frustrates me as well because I'm a big Zelda fan, as most of you guys are out there. Why don't they release the Wii U version a couple months early? How is that really going to hurt them? Like, I mean, nobody's going to buy a Wii U for the Wii U version because it's already been announced that it's coming out on NX. Like, wait a few months, you're going to get an NX. But why not give current Wii U fans something to look forward to? Why? I mean, why just kind of like one-off it on? It almost sounds like the Wii U version is gonna suck. Like they're gonna one-off it, and it's gonna be a half-assed release, and the real true version is gonna be an NX. So they're gonna expect everybody to up and spend whatever amount of money.
I think that's part of it because maybe they're not really gonna. They might not have anything really to launch the NX with, and they want people that currently have Wii U's, which is their main fan base, to transfer over to NX, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're getting the best version
of
Zelda."
I mean, and it's just such a weird world for me to even kind of think or say those words that Nintendo is going to be releasing a half-ass version of a game, but I don't know. Like,
I really hope Zelda's not half-ass, because that'll be their fucking death knell.
Why
would
that's
like their #1 series.
I just don't understand why they would wait for Zelda Wii U to be relaunched in March 17th, 2017, when you don't have anything else.
Yeah, I mean, they're just gonna take a huge loss this year because they have nothing.
I mean, this holiday's there's not gonna be anything.
Yeah, they don't.
And there's not gonna be anything.
And they said they're not gonna have anything at E3. They're not gonna show the NX there. They're just gonna show. They're gonna have. Well, it says here they're gonna have. The only game they're gonna have playable there is Zelda Wii U, I guess.
Right.
So.
And yeah, that's also in the story. According to Game Informer, Nintendo announced earlier this morning that its next console, the NX, won't be coming until March 2017. The company seems to have its eyes firmly set on the launch, leaving 3DS and Wii U games coming before then to the background. To that end, it will only be bringing one game to E3, and that game is going to be The Legend of Zelda. It just says The Legend of Zelda, so it doesn't say Wii U or NX.
Oh, God.
So I'm not sure which one they're going to be bringing. I guess the NX is... This is so confusing. Like,
It's
I don't
weird,
know what Nintendo's
man.
even doing here. I guess it's going to be Wii U because they say here the NX will not be making an appearance at all. And the formal reveal was going to be planned later.
It's so
in the
bizarre.
year. So we will be getting a reveal later in the year, but it's not going to be at E3. The Zelda Wii U is the only playable game going to be at E3. Is Nintendo even going to E3 this year?
I don't know. It doesn't sound like it. I mean, they don't do the big E3 show anymore.
Right.
They just do their treehouse thing.
They have a presence though. They always bring their games. There's always a really big demo floor. They always have like really big.
Reggie Fils-Aimé yelling.
Yeah,
play the game.
He's running around. My body's ready. Play the game. My body's ready. Your body's ready.
Game.
He was up. I mean, they had Smash tournaments last E3, so I mean, they had a really big presence. They did the Nintendo World Championships 2015, where they had people come up on stage and like the best of the best were fighting each other in Smash and Mario Kart and all these their Splatoon matches. So I mean, they had they had a big Star Fox showing there. They had a big Pikmin area. Didn't
Splatoon come out after E3 last year, or was that before?
I think it came out in May of 2015.
Okay, because I remember them hyping up Splatoon.
Yeah,
right.
And
was
there
like
was
the
a
big
huge
thing.
There was a huge Splatoon area, and they were demoing it, and people were fighting and playing each other. So I mean, Nintendo made a presence in that, and then on top of that, like I remember, like and they were trying to like take over E3 last year. I really applauded them for doing this because there's your general press conference where Microsoft will go and have their time on Monday, and then Sony will go usually on Tuesday, and then Nintendo always goes on Wednesday. But last year, Nintendo had something every single day. So Monday they had an appearance, Tuesday they had something, Wednesday they had something.
That's right.
So it was it was World Championships, and then it was Smash Battles, and then it was their big reveal, and then it was Treehouse stuff for the rest of the show.
And, then they announced like exclusive people like Miyamoto coming in, like talking about games and stuff, or demoing stuff.
They had everybody there. I mean, except for Satoru Iwata, who was sick at the time, and unfortunately we lost him.
Yeah, he passed away later.
So, he wasn't there, but, Reggie was there, Miyamoto was there, I think even, like, Anuma was there, and there was a lot of, they definitely had a presence. So, I mean, what I don't understand is, like, and it worked fairly well for them. Well, maybe it didn't. Maybe that's why they're not having a presence this year. It sucks. I mean, it was such a good time to be a Nintendo fan during that time because it was so exciting during E3 last year, and they were, watching the...
Well, I just think the announcement and rumors of this new console killed all the momentum, and... it just made people lose interest because they're not saying anything about anything yet. So
really, what I think it is that third party is not ready.
Yeah,
it has to be.
I mean, they need third party, or else it's just going to be the same friggin' thing over again.
It's pretty obvious at this point, regardless of what the NX is. If they do not have the games that people want,
right?
Because I mean, in a sense, third party and even second party is extremely important to
which the Wii thrived on because people were so pumped up about like they got all the casual users playing Wii Sports, so they had the install base that made third and second parties just develop games for it, even if they were a lot of fucking shovelware.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot, Pet My Pony or Xenoblade Chronicles. I mean, there was stuff all over the place on the Wii, which was kind of crazy. I mean, you had stuff like Boogie, and then you had stuff like Zack and Wiki, and people loved that game, So, I mean, yeah, it was quite a breadth of games on the Wii, but, I just don't know what happened, man. They're not even getting, like, one-piece games anymore. Like,
no.
There was all these one-piece games. Now they're just coming out on PS4. I don't know. Maybe they're coming out on Xbox. I don't know if they're coming out on Xbox. But, I mean, like, Nintendo just, like... they like burned so many bridges with the Wii U. I don't know if like I think EA's done with them. Like you're not even getting Madden games
They
on
just
it
completely
anymore.
read like the market and the future of games completely wrong with the Wii U.
And I
They
mean,
just fucked up. Like,
I mean, maybe. Okay, this is what I think. I think they might be trying to distance themselves from the Wii U this year. That's what I think it is. Because I do have another report here that
I
I'm gonna
mean,
be going
going dark
into.
on all this stuff, not releasing anything, pretty much shows that.
I mean, that's what I think. I think they're going to be like, let's just ride out the Wii U. There's not going to be any game. Star Fox wasn't received well. Tokyo Mirage Sessions may be kind of weird. Hopefully, it's received well. Mario Color Splash. These games were already being developed for the console. And then the games that were being developed for Wii U have been ported over to the NX, and they're making them for that. So if there was going to be a Metroid game or another Donkey Kong or whatever Retro was working on, is now going to be an NX game. It's not going to be a Wii U game anymore. So that's the only thing that I can think of is like they're just like literally trying to fizzle out, let 2016 ride out, and then 2017 will be the new year. And I think, because in this article here where it says that the NX will not be making an appearance at E3, but it will have a formal reveal planned later this year. So I think around holiday they're going to announce something.
Just start hyping it up.
They'll have
it's just
sort of direct
it's such a bizarre window though. Like why not? Why? When has a console ever launched in March? Like,
I mean,
it's really bizarre.
I honestly can't remember. I mean, usually they're in the fall, October, September. You want to get that holiday crowd because that's when people are spending their money. You got Black Friday deals.
That's when
people
parents
are going
buying
out.
shit for their kids.
Right? Yeah, I want the Nintendo. When is it? Oh, it's coming out in November. Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, PlayStation sold out. Xbox, when they went down to that bundle, they sold out a whole bunch. You know what I mean? It's just. I don't know. It's just this is so weird. Like, I don't know why they keep reading these things wrong, man. They're reading their fans
it's really
wrong. They're
bizarre.
reading the
People
market
are freaking
just...
out about it because it's hard to read what they're doing because they're not saying anything. Like everything that's come out about this seems. Well, I guess all this was from their conference, their business call, right?
Yeah, this was from their financials that they released.
That's really all we've heard so far. Nobody knows what the NX is. Nobody knows what their plan is for it. Right. All we know is there's nothing coming out for the Wii U. You can tell they're abandoning it. They're still supporting the 3DS. There's still stuff coming out for the 3DS, so that's probably what they're gonna kind of.
Yeah, and I mean at the end of the year on 3DS, you do have Pokemon Sun and Moon, and that's going to be a major, massive release. But I don't know if that's going to be able to cauterize the artery that is the Wii U.
Right. Well, and that's probably why they're doing
mean,
stuff like the one article we have here about them selling all their shares in the Mariners.
You want to talk about that right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes well to let what's happening here.
So basically Nintendo is starting to cut big portions of their company. Nintendo of America is to sell the majority of their ownership in the Seattle Mariners. If you guys did not know, Nintendo has owned massive stock, like 75% of the Seattle Mariners, the national baseball, the baseball team from the Seattle Mariners, and they've owned it for roughly 20 some years, and they're selling it off. So according to Game Informer, or do you want to read this one? You can read the one. I've been reading them all. You can take one if you want.
Well, let me see if there's any highlights. Let me see. From the first day of our involvement, nearly 24 years ago, Nintendo has had two goals for its investment in the Mariners. First, we wanted to assure the permanence of the team in this great city, and on that count, I am proud and gratified that this agreement further solidifies that goal. On the other hand, I'm equally disappointed that we have not been able to host a World Series game for our fans. Wait, does that make any sense?
Yeah, that's just PR speak. He's upset. The specifics were not released on the sale. But the valuation of $1.4 billion. Wow.
That was one of their chairmen saying that. That's a lot of fucking money.
That was Howard Lincoln, the CEO.
Yeah.
It's just, what are you going to do at this point? I mean, you're losing money. You need to start kind of looking at other avenues.
Yeah, and that amount of money is going to help them probably.
1.4 billion.
Fun games for the NX, and probably their mobile. It's gonna go a lot to their mobile division too.
You're gonna have mobile, probably even PC. I mean, they are saying that they're gonna start reaching out on PC, and they're gonna be doing other things with other consoles and things to try to get some marketing and revenue coming with this. I don't know. So
I'm sure that's gonna go fund all this stuff because they're banning the NX. They're gonna need fuck tons of marketing money, which they're not going to be getting revenue from the Wii U anymore. I mean, like you said, it's down 61% the money they're making, so they're just trying to pull money from wherever they can to start probably building a marketing plan for the NX and just building their mobile games and their NX games probably.
It's crazy reading this one article here. The name Hiroshi Yamauchi I've not heard in many
Oh,
years.
Yamauchi, yeah.
But yeah,
Wasn't he one of weren't they the original family? Right?
The Yamauchi family, yeah, that is they're like over 100 years now. That's been the Nintendo brand. But yeah, no, he bought the stake in 1992.
Wow.
The Nintendo has been holding on to the stock in the Seattle Mariner baseball team, which is weird. I mean, it's not too weird because Nintendo of America is located in Washington, not in Seattle.
Right.
It's Redfield. It's right outside of Seattle. But it's kind of interesting that they've been holding on to this for so long, and this also kind of makes me wonder what else does Nintendo have stock in. I mean,
I don't know.
I
mean,
weird. Is it car manufacturing companies? Is it NBA teams? I mean, what else is there that they have that they can have?
I wonder what caused them to invest in like a baseball team. I mean, I know like Japanese people are really into baseball.
I wonder if Hiroshi Yamauchi, if he was a fanatic of baseball. I do not know if he was, but he might have been, and he just, like it says here, they just wanted to have it. They wanted to keep the team in Seattle, and at the time they were probably looking to move to another place, like a lot of teams do.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So they were probably looking to keep them in Seattle, and I don't know what's going to happen after this acquisition. Maybe maybe they'll move to another city. Maybe they won't be a team anymore. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it's kind of crazy just to think, like, Nintendo, where else are you hiding your money?
Right.
Where else are you hiding your money? Like, why are you not putting this money in games? Why are you haggling YouTube content creators for money when you have stocks in baseball teams? What the hell? What is happening with this company? I don't make any sense with them. It don't make any sense.
That's insane.
It doesn't make any sense. Well, let's go over some sales. Let's actually put a lot of this into perspective really quick. Let's go over the top 10 best-selling games of Nintendo. We'll go over the Wii U games, we'll go over the 3DS games, and then we'll also kind of show a little bit of parity between the two, like showing like how this is where the Wii U sits, and they actually break this down very nicely.
And these are like rather surprising results too that I was surprised by.
Let's start with the Wii U. I'm gonna do a little bit of an introduction with it, and then we'll start number 10 and work our way up. So, let's see what does it say here. Because of the lack of third-party support and a general slow release schedule, Wii U gamers are picking up fewer standout games in larger numbers. Mario Kart is typically one of Nintendo's best sellers, but by comparison, the Mario Kart Wii attach rate was only 36% behind only Wii Sports in sales.
Wow.
Wii Party in the number 10 slot for that system's ranking only had an attach rate of 9%. So that's pretty interesting. So hold on to that number. Wii Party was the 10th best-selling game in the system rankings for Wii,
right?
With an attachment rate of 9%. Now, if you don't know what attachment rate means, it's basically how many people own the system that are buying the games. That's essentially that's what attachment rate is. Like, okay, so this percentage of people have the console. This percentage of people are buying the games. So in 10th place, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD, a remaster from the GameCube era, sold 1.72 million. With an attach rate of 13.44%. That's insane.
Which is higher than the Wii's 10-slot game.
I mean, which doesn't really make sense. The Wii had such the Wii sold roughly 150 million units. And you're talking about...
But I think it makes sense, the attachment rate on the Wii, because most of the people that bought that console were casual gamers. They weren't the hardcore gamer base, I guess, right?
So what this sounds like to me is that the people that have bought and own Wii U's today are Nintendo's hardcore fan base.
That's what I think too.
Like, they are not the people, the grandmas that wanted Wii Sports, or and Wii Sports was a pack-in title. Or was it Wii Sports or was it Resort Wii?
No, Wii Sports was pack-in, and then they made the Resort one later that came with. Remember the extra motion controller, to be more precise?
Right.
It was like an attachment you put on the Wii.
Right, the Wii Remote Plus or whatever.
Yes,
right.
Yeah.
All right, so at number 10, Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker HD, a remake, high-def game. Oh my God, that's unbelievable. 13% though. I mean, that's
which is a beloved game too. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I know. In 9th place was Mario Party 10. 1.76 million units with a attach rate of 13.75%, and Mario Party 10 wasn't even really that well received.
No,
I think Mario Party 10 got 5, 6s,
I don't
7s.
I don't think any Mario Party game is ever that well received.
I mean,
usually...
I don't think since really like Mario Party 2 on 64,
Yeah.
I don't remember any of the ones on GameCube being really that good.
No.
The ones on 64 were awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Like Mario Party 2, that game was just like, wow, I didn't know I could do this with my friends,
Right.
with my family before. You know, it's just like this game is ridiculous. And but yeah, I mean, yeah, Mario Party 10, like it's not selling, but the attach rate's there. It's there. I mean, so people that have Wii U's are buying the games, but it's not. That's not what Nintendo needs. They need people that don't have these consoles. They need the people that, you know. And I don't know. I guess there's really no driving force for people to buy this console.
Yeah.
With these games, I guess like people don't want Mario Party 10. People don't want Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. Which is very unfortunate because they're you know, at least Wind Waker HD, that was the best way to play that game. I mean, Wind Waker HD was a marvel when it came out, but they've only have made that game much better. So, in 8th place is new Super Luigi U, which was actually DLC for Super Mario U, Super Mario Bros. U. That sold 2.49 million units. This is over just the last year. It's not up to date. It's just over the last year of how many these sold. In 7th place, Super Mario Maker, which this one hurts.
That's crazy. Like
7th place, Super Mario Maker.
I thought that would be at least like 2 or 3. Like
3.52 million units. I mean, the game came out in what, September of 2015.
Yes. Yeah.
So I mean, it's not so bad.
Yeah, it hasn't been around that long, but that game is like super popular on Twitch. That's always like one of the top games that I see on there.
Nintendo spent tons of money marketing this.
Yeah,
game.
and
it's
probably one of the best Nintendo games I've played in a long time.
And you know, since we're talking about Mario Maker, there's actually so much ridiculous DLC, and it's all free. You know, Amiibo unlocks, or I guess the Amiibo stuff isn't free, but you know, like you can just beat some of the designer levels. Like you can get Super Mario Kun if you beat the Super Mario Kun levels, which is basically a chibi Mario.
You could get like the Twilight Princess one.
If you beat, if you have the Amiibo, or if you just beat the Twilight Princess level. Interestingly enough, this is also some news that I wasn't going to talk about since we're talking about Super Mario Maker. I thought this was kind of weird. Have you ever heard of the J-pop metal band Baby Metal?
Yeah.
Baby Metal is coming to Super Mario Maker.
Oh my god.
It makes no sense. It's more fucking Nintendo.
So is Baby Metal gonna make a level?
I guess. Basically, it's the three. If you don't know who Baby Metal is, they're okay. I don't really like them. They're basically J-pop metal. It's really infectious.
Weird.
It's really infectious. If you listen to Baby Metal, you will never not be able to listen to Baby Metal. Like they give me chocolate and stuff like that. Like they are stuck in your head forever. They just have it's like this like really kind of
cute little Japanese girls singing metal.
Singing crunchy metal. It's like and they're like say howdy ha whoa say howdy ha whoa, and it's like what the shit is this? And it's just so infectious. But anyway, they're coming to Super Mario Maker.
I guess that makes sense because like there's weird Mario Maker levels made by weird like Japanese game show hosts that I have no fucking clue who they are. It's like who is this?
You know, and they're like here comes like Huratu Turipa, and
you're like oh totally.
It's like oh Huratu's here, yay!
Oh,
and
man,
it's like who
it.
is this? Yeah, but yeah, I guess there's a little video on YouTube if anybody wants to see it, but it's the three sisters or whatever, the three girls, and they jumped. They're like sight. Hatso, sight. They're jumping into the Mario. It's fucking weird, man. I don't know what Nintendo's doing. They're like, we need to bring people into our games. Let's bring Baby Metal into it. It's like, what does Baby Metal have to do with Mario Maker? I don't know.
I want a Colonel Sanders level. I would like Colonel Sanders
jumping
over buckets of chicken.
That'd be awesome.
Or like chicken power ups, like
power up. You just turn into a big fried chicken. That'd be amazing.
Biscuits and gravy slides. That'd be great.
That coleslaw.
Oh man, coleslaw pit. That'd be great.
Coleslaw pit. Oh my god. So, yeah, Super Mario Maker in 7th place with 3.52 million. Splatoon in 6th place with 4.27 million units. With an attach rate of 33%, which is pretty interesting. So 33% of Wii U owners have bought this game.
I would have thought that would have been higher up, too, but I guess that also hasn't been out as long as some of these other games.
Hasn't been around for a year yet. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, 4.8 million. In fifth place. In fourth place, Super Mario 3D World, 4.82 million. And I think possibly the Nintendo Selects dropping of this game probably helped it sell a whole bunch. This was one of the Nintendo Selects they just released. It was going to be. It was a $59.99 game, $60 game, and they just dropped down to $19.99, $20. So probably tons of people picked on it, jumped it up, or jumped on it. Nintendo Land at 5.7 million. New Super Mario Brothers U in second place with 5.19 million, and the best-selling game is Mario Kart 8 with 7.5 million units. And there's 58.6% attachment rate to this. I think I might have misspoke. I didn't mean to say this earlier, but these are the lifetime sales of these games. This isn't just. I don't know if I said that right when I was in the beginning when I said this. Yeah, this wasn't just like in this year. Like this is the lifetime sales of these games. So like Super Mario Kart 8 did not sell 7.5 million units in a year. It's been out for 2 years.
It's been out for a while.
And
I think you would see these other games up higher on the list if they were out longer.
If they were around.
But I mean, they're never going to climb up that high now with the Wii U.
Where they're only expecting to sell 800,000 units. I mean that they're expecting that. So really, they might sell half of that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pitiful for the Wii U. I
don't know. I mean, there's talks of them porting these games to the NX. So I mean, they'll probably get new life breathed in them. So
specifically out of this list, Super Mario Maker and Splatoon are the two rumored games. I don't see any.
I mean, those are my favorite games that I.
Yeah. They're definitely the best games on this list. Mario Kart 8, I could see them, but just go on to Mario Kart 9 or put Mario Kart 9 on whatever is your next handheld. Maybe release Mario Kart 9 on 3DS and bring out Mario Kart X on Wii NX or whatever. That'd be cool, something like that. So, but interestingly enough, on this list, you don't see a lot of games on here that should have been on here. I mean, you don't see Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
No.
You don't see Bayonetta 2. You don't see Pikmin 3.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. And that is also a Nintendo Select right now. Though that game was hard to find for a little while.
Right.
Still, digitally, they're not on here. There's a lot of games not on here. And what's even more troubling...
Did they make Monster Hunter on the Wii U?
Yeah, there was Monster Hunter 3.
You would think that would be on here. Or like Xenoblade.
And Watch Dogs is not on here.
Right.
Devil's Third's not on here. A lot of third-party games. Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles X is not on here by Monolith, and that came out. I mean, that came out in December, but still. I mean,
that's right.
I mean, there's no third-party games on here. Mario Kart, Super Mario Bros, Nintendo Land. These are all first-party games. Or second-party games. I think Splatoon is first-party. I think that's their RED or whatever it is, their in-house developer. But yeah, these are all first-party games, and like this list here does not speak to third party at all. Like EA does not want to be on this console. Activision, Ubisoft, Ubisoft's been supporting Wii U surprisingly. Ubisoft has been releasing
a little bit here and there.
We got Assassin's Creed 3, we got Assassin's Creed 4 on Wii U.
Was there a Rayman on?
There was a Rayman Legends. That game's probably one of the best games on Wii U. That's not on here. It should be. And then also Watch Dogs, which nobody seems to have ever talked about on Wii U, unfortunately. But I mean, this is why the Wii U is where it is.
It's because they don't have any third-party support.
This proves, and I mean, there's big games not even here. Like, where's Zelda Wii U? It's not here. It's not coming this year. It's not coming next year. It hasn't.
No Metroid games.
There's no Metroid on here. And I would, Metroid isn't one of their best-selling IP, but I think that it would have at least probably made this top 10. I mean, I feel like I'm looking at like a death list or something. Like these are their best.
Well, it pretty
games.
much is.
Like these are their best games, and like this is what the Wii U will stack up to be forever. Like this is the list of games that people remember the Wii U by. And there's a lot of good games not on here. Like the Wonderful 101 will just fade off into it's just there's so many good games. Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh god, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker was a phenomenal game. That was just like.
I hope that's something that they keep on with too.
I don't know. Like looking at this, whatever's not on this list, they may come.
Yeah.
They may be like, you know what, Star Fox is done.
Well, I mean, that's why I'm hoping, like I said, that they'll be porting stuff to the NX, and maybe those games will live on through that and get more sales. And get more interest.
While we're talking about this, it's pretty interesting. They're bringing Wii games over from to the Wii U.
Yeah.
So if you never got to play some games, they're bringing really rare ones. specifically Metroid Prime Trilogy is available on Wii.
Right, and that was an expensive ass game to find.
And as of yesterday, you can now get the original Xenoblade Chronicles for $19.99 on.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, it's available right now, $19.99. So you no longer have to suffer on the bad 3DS version. You could buy it on your Wii U and play as it's supposed to be played and then when you in that delicious high def and all that kind of stuff like that. So yeah, you can get with Xenoblade now. So I mean, them doing this is showing that there may be a space for Wii U on NX in some fashion. You may probably not for discs, but definitely they may bring stuff into their future virtual console, whatever it is they're going to be calling it. So
right.
But yeah, while we're here. Let's look over the best-selling 3DS games, which is kind of interesting as well. The attachment rates are actually way lower on the 3DS side, and there's way more 3DSs out there, so it's kind of interesting.
Strange.
In 10th place, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time 3D, 4.4 million, with an attachment rate of only 6.8%. So now number 10 on Wii U was also Zelda, was Wind Waker HD. Remember, it was 1.72 million, and with an attachment rate of 13%. So. It's kind of insane. It's just the attach rates and the amount of these games are selling.
And I'm guessing that's because there's so many 3DSs out there.
Right.
It's a way high. Isn't it almost double of what the Wii U is?
Last I heard, I think it was roughly 60 million.
Okay.
Roughly 50, 60 million unit 3DSs
so
out there.
That's way higher.
And that's probably accounting for 3DS, 2DS, 3DS XL.
And I'm sure that's why the
3DS
attachment
XL.
rate's so low.
Right,
because there's so many games available on
probably
here.
people that bought a 2DS were only bought it for 1 or 2 games, and they weren't buying Zelda and all these other games.
And I'm sure there's a lot of really young kids that they bought 2DSs for that aren't playing like Mario Kart games and Luigi's Mansion and all that kind of stuff.
And then on Wii U, you have to buy what you get. I mean,
exactly, because there's not a lot coming out.
Like you're like, oh, Star Fox
People
is coming out.
People are starved for content.
Cool.
Just want to buy something.
Rodea the Sky Soldier came out. Cool.
All right, let's go.
let's sky it up to the skies. Let's do it.
Let's kind of sort this shit up.
Exactly. In 9th place, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, 4.82 million.
Awesome
Number 8 was Tamagotchi Life, 4.98 million. Super Smash Bros. For 3DS, 8.12 million, with an attach rate of 13%. I thought that was going to be higher. Smash Bros. On 3DS, but I guess I guess people just wanted the console version more, which is kind of crazy. Wait, hold on. What was the Smash on Wii U? Smash on Wii U was 4.8 million. Oh, wait, no, never mind. I got those. Like, the 3DS version sold half of that.
Yeah.
No, the Wii U version sold half of that. The Wii U version was 4.8 million.
4.8 million with a 37%
with a 37 attach rate. And then on 3DS, it's 8.12 million with an attach rate of 13%. So that's pretty crazy. That's crazy. Animal Crossing, New Leaf in 6th place. New Super Mario Bros. 2 in 5th place with 10.25 million. In 4th place was Super Mario 3D Land, 10.73 million. In 3rd place, we have Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, 11.84 million with an attachment rate of 20%. That I don't really understand. Like, I don't know. Did they account for both games, Omega Ruby?
Yeah, that's
Alpha
kind of
Sapphire?
weird.
I don't know.
I guess so. Yeah, it looks.
They're different.
Like it.
Yeah, I mean they're very different games. But I mean they're two games of the same coin. I don't know. In 2nd place was Super Mario Kart 7 with 13 million, and then Pokemon XY at the very top with 14.7 million units in 1st place. So want to talk about that. It's pretty interesting. It's also kind of interesting to look at like how their portable platform just completely killed it, and their Wii U, their home console, their flagship home console is just drowning in the way that it is. It's just very troubling, man. Just very troubling.
Yeah,
and
it's sad that their home consoles are just taking a beating.
It really is, man. I mean, it's just there's just really no good news. They're losing money. They're selling off parts of their business right now to try to accumbent or make up for their new endeavors in mobile gaming and also on the NX. Their flagship games like Legend of Zelda has never come out, and we're not getting them. I mean, they tweeted this out during this, was that according to Nintendo's tweet, was that the new Legend of Zelda will be the focus of E3 2016. It will launch simultaneously on both Wii U and NX in 2017. That was a tweet from official Nintendo of America.
Right.
And it's just kind of interesting. Like, why are they using social media this way? Like, what are they doing?
I don't know.
Now, if any of you guys want to see any of this stuff, I'm going to be posting links to all this stuff in the description below. So if you want to like look at the financials for yourself, if you've never seen them, or if you know them, if you want to actually break them down, Nintendo released a consolidated financial statement, 18 pages, an 18-page PDF. That I will include in the description if you guys kind of want to check out this and like look at everything. They go over everything here. They go over how many assets they've had, how many of the assets they've lost. If you kind of want to break all this down, it's pretty girthy, a lot of information. I mean, it is a financial, it is a release of their financials, so there's a lot of information, a lot of
stuff to digest.
A lot of stuff to digest. So if you want to look at that, you can. It's all going to be there for you guys. But basically, an outline of their we'll just talk about an outline of it really quick, kind of bring it all home. We talked about, and I told you guys at the very beginning of this podcast that it was not going to be a good day. We start off with Lionhead, we moved on Nintendo mobile gaming, and now we're finishing up with how the Wii U is just literally going to get a Viking funeral by the end of the year. One thing that I don't know if I did talk about, I think I might have mentioned it, but in an interview with Naikai, they said the Wii U is going to end production in 2018. I think I might have said that. But that's not really a big thing. I mean,
that's to be expected.
I kind of figured at this point the Wii U would end production. Like, why would they produce them to 2018?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. That's really strange.
Yeah, like there's no games coming. Like, why? Unless at E3 they're gonna.
That seems a little prolonged for
right. It's like you're gonna.
When they're not. Yeah.
Is that where all the Mariner money is going? You're gonna keep producing Wii U's?
We're just gonna dump $1 billion into making Wii U's.
And then the worst thing about all this is that these games are gonna be really hard to find. Probably in 2018. And
so people that buy a Wii U are gonna be like, "Oh, where the fuck are the games?
Where are the games?" I mean, I guess you can buy them all digitally, but good luck on your 32 gigabyte hard drive.
Just buy 12 copies of Tamagotchi Life.
I guess, yeah.
Oh no, that's on 3DS.
Try to cram it in your Wii U and hopefully it works. I guess jam it in there, work.
Hammer flat.
I guarantee you're not going to find Rodea the Sky Soldier. That's not even available on the eShop. So I mean, a lot of the games that aren't available there, you're not going to be able to find them. And then some of them they kind of bury. Like Devil's Third only got like roughly 400 or 500. There's only 400 or 500 copies in the first release of it, and then now there's been a second print of it. So there's many more copies out there. But they actually hid Devil's Third, which was another game that came out as by not Igarashi, the guy that made the Ninja Gaiden games.
Yeah.
He just escaped my mind right now. But Itagaki, he released this game Devil's Third. It got trashed 4s and 5s across the board. People just say it's very uninspired gameplay. And it's you can find it on the eShop. It's there, but you really have to look for it. Like it's not like front page kind of new stuff. So I don't know. I just don't know what to think with all this, man. But I kind of wanted to bring it all home and go over just kind of like an outline of the consolidated financials for the year for them from March 31st, 2016 to March 31st, 2017. Basically, their net sales at the end of March 31st, 2015 were 549.7 billion yen. At the year ending of March 31st, 2016, their net sales were 504.4 billion yen. So there's roughly almost $50 billion lost there. It's about 8% difference. Their profit, they were losing money last year too. I mean, it's not a big change. They were losing money, but their profit last year was 214.5 billion yen at the March 31st, 2015. The profit this year was 220 billion, so I guess they were up 3% there for gross profit. But really, they took a hit with their ordinary income. The year ended March 31st, 2015. It was 70.5 billion yen ordinary income, and then ending this year, March 31st, 2016, 28.7 billion yen. That is a 59.2% difference. So from 70 billion yen down to 28 billion yen.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
And then a profit attributable to owners of parent company, 41.8 billion in 2015, and that has gone down to 16.5 billion in 2016. So that is a 60.6% difference. Basically, net sales for Wii. This is according to their financials. I'll read this off real quick paragraph. For Wii U, Splatoon and Super Mario Maker, which were released during this period, became blockbusters and contributed to energizing the Wii U platform. So if they did not have Splatoon and Super Mario Maker last year,
would have been way worse.
They sold 3 million units in a year. I'm just like, would they have sold any? Like,
I don't know.
I think those 2 games alone possibly saved the Wii U in 2015,
I think
2016.
Splatoon and Mario Maker made a lot of people go, "Whoa, I want to play that."
I mean, they were pretty. They are amazing games. If you guys never played Splatoon or Mario Maker, I mean, I hope they come to next. If you don't have a Wii U, pick them up there. If you do have a Wii U, pick them up because they're fantastic games.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
Like, that's the thing. Like, if you don't have a Wii U, I would wait.
Yeah,
I
mean, I would wait if I didn't have one right now to see what Nintendo is gonna do, because these games might come to the NX, maybe giving you a reason to buy an NX.
You might get all these games coming over, or not all of them, but probably not Rodeo Sky Soldier and Wonderful 101, but you'll probably see, Splatoon, Mario Maker, probably Smash is going to come over to them, assuming,
I would think so.
I don't think they're going to be developing another Smash Brothers anytime soon.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, without Splatoon and Mario Maker, I don't know. But so if you don't have a Wii U, I would wait. But if you do have a Wii U and you don't have these games, I would definitely recommend them. Splatoon and Mario Maker are fantastic experiences, especially if you're a creator or if you like online shooters. I mean, they've done fantastic things in both of these realms, which it's so new for Nintendo.
Yeah, their first shooter, and it's an online shooter, and it's completely unique and like crazy compared to any other kind of shooter you've ever played.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
It's a fantastic game. Really
And I mean, yeah, we'll kind of, we're getting close to the very end here, and we'll kind of just like wrap up. Like, I don't know, I'm not saying goodbye to the Wii U yet because I know there's going to be a couple more games, but I mean, it kind of feels like we almost are at this point, right? It's like
I feel like it's already like
it feels like
dead and gone. I mean, at this point, I'm just kind of like getting the games I don't have for it.
Yeah,
I mean, because there's like 2 more games coming out for it that we know of.
That's what we know of. Yeah, I mean, it's like. And the thing that I'll always remember about the Wii, and it's so weird to say, is because we're still getting some games, and the console's not been discontinued yet. I mean, it will be in 2018, but it's so weird to even like talk about like past tense on this console that's already here, that's leaving us. But I don't know, it's just so weird. I don't even know what do you call about that? Is it a posthumous release? I don't know. Like, is that what Tokyo's Sunrise
It's like you're on like life support, but you're still getting medals.
You're still getting medals for it. You're still a hero. You're still Solid Snake to us. You got
exactly.
this. So, I mean, it's like that's what I'm going to remember the Wii U for. Regardless of when it ends, regardless of what's going to happen with it. Like, I'm going to remember these experiences. Splatoon is a online competitive multiplayer third-person shooter where you paint the floors and the walls. It's like a capture the flag.
You're a squid teenager person. There's
a Squidler.
A giant crustacean that sells you funky shoes.
In
keeps
the corner.
You fresh.
Yeah, no, it keeps you stay fresh. You gotta stay fresh.
You gotta stay fresh.
Yeah, with the Sploony
That's
Tunes.
what I learned from the Wii U.
To stay fresh.
You gotta stay fresh.
With the Sploony Tunes. And then, I mean, with games like Mario Maker, they broke outside of their IP. They let people tango with their legendary IP,
and that's a very like social experience too, which they've never done before. Those were the 2 games that made me feel that the Wii U was worth buying because I've put so much time into Splatoon and Mario Maker so far.
I have too. Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's just awesome.
It's
really cool.
That
gave me hope in the NX to see what new directions they're willing to go into because those 2 games alone were so out of their box, out of their element that I don't know. It just gives me hope that they're going to do more experimental stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying, and not just these games. I mean, even the game like Hyrule Warriors, where Koei Tecmo came in and
letting them take their IP and make a Dynasty Warriors,
Legend of Zelda game. I played that on the stream last week ago, and it's a phenomenal game. And I mean, it's crazy to get a game like that, and that's what the Wii U is. It's just like giving us these games that are giving us new ways to look at gaming. I guess like Nintendo was like, I think this may be like people always like credit the Wii for being kind of one of the craziest and like out there like bringing new kind of experiences to gaming and new people to gaming, but I think the Wii U possibly really was like it was like the opposite for that. It was like really kind of showed us who Nintendo could be, like in a way that they've never really been before, right? It's like the Wii was like let's bring people here to show them how to play. And then like they'll be like, okay, well let's kind of like let ourselves open so people can learn how to play with us again or something. I don't know. Like it just feels so un-Nintendo, I guess is what it is. Like it's like Nintendo or something, right? It's like,
I mean, it's Nintendo. It's just they're not like regurgitating shit. They're trying to do different things.
Yeah, I know. And at the same time, we did get some HD releases like Twilight Princess HD, and Wind Waker HD and stuff. So we still got that.
Which I'm fine with, like because like the Wind Waker is it seems dated now. Like it was very blurry. Like even when
Right.
you try to play it nowadays, and it's like really awesome to see it in HD in a
Oh
wide
God.
format. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful game.
Yeah, and then I mean, even games like Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, like
Yeah,
it was a fun little spin-off game in Super Mario 3D World, and you know there was like extra little levels you can get
it's a
stars
cool
and stuff.
puzzle game. It's really
It was
neat.
yeah, you're Toad, you can't jump at all. You got to go find stars and collect stuff and like do some stuff. And that was a really cool game.
Yeah.
That was a full game, and
Yeah.
you know, like that didn't even. It was a they released it for $39.99. You could run through the game once as Toad, and then you go back through as Toadette. You know, so I mean, like there was like a lot of levels and crazy stuff. I would like to see a Treasure Tracker maker eventually.
Yeah,
Treasure
I was
Tracker
just gonna
Maker.
say that.
You know,
That'd
like
be really neat.
have a 3D type of game with Toad. You can work around this world and
You know,
make these
you know
3D
what was
kind of
another
stuffs.
really cool game like that was developed on Wii U? What's the game called? Pushmo? Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Pushmo was fantastic.
That was
man.
like
Yeah.
a great game.
Yeah, that was also on 3DS, and then they had that on Wii U as well.
Yeah.
3DS also had Crashmo, where that was yeah, Pushmo was fantastic.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Pushmo was such a good game. And then another kind of cool thing that I always will love about Wii U is that I don't know. I know Steam really kind of started the indie revolution because it opened up a platform for
Yeah, for anybody's
for
to just-
anybody.
to
But
develop.
I think the Wii U kind of really opened up the indie realm on a platform, like with Shovel Knight and with Gianna Sisters, the Twisted Tail, and all these
Right.
different types of games that came out that they just didn't feel like they would ever really fit on a AAA device. And then all of a sudden, then like you're starting to get like Axiom Verge on Sony, and then you know you're getting Layers of Fear on Xbox, a really awesome indie horror game. You know, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
like. And now Neverending Nightmares is coming to PS4 with start on Steam. So I mean,
Well, I think a lot of these companies in the past, I guess it's the start of this gen, they started seeing the value in indie games because they're creating unique experiences that first party and third party games they can't really take the risk of making these unique ideas
Right.
because they need a guaranteed sell. So like a small company can take the risk of making something crazy and unique.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's cool to see these companies embracing that.
And that, you know, that's what really kind of turned me into, I would say, like a new age Nintendo fan again, right? Because
Yeah.
like I have all this nostalgia, and I think that's kind of what it is today with Nintendo. Some people maybe not, maybe they don't get that, and that's maybe why this is doing so bad. But for me, like I've been a Nintendo fan my whole life. I have all these like really old experiences with Nintendo, and that's like retro nostalgia, of course. But it was like when Nintendo like broke down their walls and like kind of were started giving us games like Splatoon and Mario Maker, and I mean they were putting crazy characters like Cloud Strife and Bayonetta and Smash, and they, like all these kinds of things were. It was like kind of like getting to know who Nintendo is as a company again, almost. Like it was just like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, and then with all, you know, opening their doors to Yacht Club games and Shovel Knight and Way Forward and the Shantae games and you know Renegade Kid with Mutant Mud and all that stuff. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
So
Mutant Mud's great.
I mean, it's just like they've opened their doors to these people, and it's just like maybe they're like starting to learn something, but then they do stupid shit on YouTube. I don't fucking know. It's just like what is Nintendo
know.
today? I'm trying to figure out where Nintendo is and what they're doing, and you know, and what's you know.
Can't
sometimes
predict it.
You really can't. That's one thing about Nintendo. You won't ever be able
Nintendo
to
is
predict them.
chaos. That's
They're
what
gonna
it
do it.
means in Japanese.
They're gonna do Nintendo. They're just gonna do what they do.
Nintendo?
They're gonna do what they do, and they're just gonna. I guess they're gonna burn the world down, or they're gonna sink their ship with it. I don't know. It's just.
Nintendo's pretty much if the Liberty Bell was on fire and no, if the Statue of Liberty was on fire and alive and started hugging buildings. It wants to love, but it's on fire.
It can't help it.
It can't help
It
it.
can't help it. It only
It's just got to
knows-
burn shit to the
It
ground.
only knows how to hug things on fire.
It wants to hug, but it just destroys everything.
Oh man, and they have set me on fire more than once.
Yes.
That is for sure, man. Well, you know, I mean, I think that's probably a good place to end the cast.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what to say. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
Nintendo,
I mean, Nintendo doing Nintendo ass shit. That's just
that's basically
how
what
they
it is.
roll.
It's another day. I mean, you know, honestly, their financials from last year there was not any different from this. I remember.
Has this company ever made a
profit?
profit?
They used to at one point, yeah. I was there for that, man. They used to make money during the Super Nintendo era, and they made a shitload of money during the Wii era with the DS and all that. Oh my god! I mean, I remember at one
God.
point when the GameCube was out, they were when the GameCube's out, they were working with the GameCube, the Game Boy Advance, and the DS. And then when the DS came out, that was wildfire. They got rid of
Yeah, people love that.
Yeah, the DS caught on, and then they were like, oh, well, hell, let's do the Wii. And then the Wii came out, and then it was like Wii, and then the DS, and that was just like, oh my god.
People love the Game Boy Advance, too. Wasn't that really big for them?
It was, but it was only around for like 3 or 4 years, surprisingly.
Oh, that's right.
It wasn't around for a really long time because they ushered in this DS, the dual screen, and that's a phenomenal system.
Freaked out about that.
Yeah, I mean that blew the SP, the Game Boy Advance SP, and all that kind of stuff out of the water. So.
That's right.
So I don't know. They've had some dark spots in their past with the Virtual Boy, and then with the GameCube. I mean, the GameCube's a phenomenal system, but still, it only went on to sell like 23 million units, 22 million units. So I mean, the GameCube was not a commercial success for Nintendo.
Yeah.
So that's weird. They've had like really awesome big kind of wins in their past, like because they've been around for over 100 years now, so I'm sure this is just going to be another dark spot in their history. But it's weird because there's a little bit of light under that grease and that dirt and grime and stuff that we'll remember on the sales. So
I mean, all this shit we talked about seems dark and grim, but if anything, Nintendo always has this way of pulling themselves up and they just kind of trudge through shit and keep going.
Yeah, I mean they're going to learn from these experiences. Like I think if they learn anything from this generation, it's that they need third party, as all of these consoles do. I mean, Sony would not be selling 40 million units as they just announced today or the day before. They sold 40. They're up to 40 million now. They would not be there without third party, without indie, without second party.
Yeah.
They haven't had a first party release since Until Dawn that I can think of. I mean, and that was a year ago. I mean, I can't think of any other first. Well, they have Ratchet and Clank now. Uncharted's coming out next month. Was the Order this year? Or was that last year?
That was last year.
That was last year?
And that
Drive
was not
Club,
a good game.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
So Drive Club was a bomb, too.
So, I mean, and it's like, if Nintendo's working at the level they're working now with their first party, like Mario Maker, Splatoon, Smash Brothers.
And I mean that's the reason
insane.
people buy their core gamers buy their consoles is for the first party experience.
But they need
they need that third party.
They need FIFA. They need EA back.
They need to draw people in, especially these younger gamers that didn't grow up with this shit like me and you did.
Right? Yeah.
They need those people because we're going to keep getting older and people are going to lose interest in them, forget what Nintendo was all about. And younger gamers aren't going to have those memories and experiences like we had. So they really need to grab younger people.
You're absolutely right. One of the cool things I always hear on Twitch is people come and they say, like, oh, yeah, I play these games with my kids now or all this kind of stuff, and I think that's awesome that people are showing us stuff. Yeah, but I mean, like, there's a lot of people out there that, like, Nintendo needs to find how to get into these kids' hearts.
Yeah, I mean, my wife, I asked her younger cousins who were, like, 16, 17, like, they asked me, like, oh, what do you play? I was like, oh, I like Nintendo, and these games are like, isn't that for, like, kids? Like, that seems to be, like, the consensus, like, I'm not, like, a little kid. I don't need to play that.
Right.
And they need to, like, shake that stigma, which I think they're trying to do with stuff like Splatoon, because that's not, like, a very kiddie game. I mean,
no, when I play that game, I get
aggressive.
It's vibrant,
it's intense,
but I get so aggressive when I'm like, oh, it's Splatoon, you've splatted me, and
I think a lot of critics reacted that way too. They were like, wow, it's like Nintendo's making this crazy game, like a shooter.
Yeah.
Nothing like that's what gives me hope for the NX is if they keep doing stuff like that. I will definitely continue buying their stuff.
Yeah, no, I will too, man. I'll definitely continue to support them as long as they continue being innovative. But they need to bring it in. Yeah, that is their problem. They need to bring it in. We really just want a console with a controller. I mean, what's wrong with a console with a controller?
Tired of your gimmicks.
We don't need waggle. We don't need just pads.
Give me the Pro controller, and that's I'm content. That's fine.
I remember when the Wii U came out, and when I saw it, I was like, wow, that looks pretty futuristic. There's like a second pad. It's like a DS, but at home it looks pretty cool. But then it's like
that controller sucks.
But then bad. When you get your hands on it, it's like a Fisher Price
I'm
tablet
holding a cutting board. Like I could chop onions on this thing.
I mean, and you're so spread apart, so your wrists automatically start to hurt. And the biggest thing about it is there's no games that really utilize it.
No.
Mario Maker does because you can draw on it and you can make stuff.
That's the game I use most on that. But Splatoon forces you to fucking use it, and it's just so unintuitive for compared to using my Xbox controller to play shooters. it doesn't feel good and it's hard to
Well,
use.
and even for the re-releases of the Zelda games, Wind Waker and
Yeah,
Twilight Princess, like
it doesn't feel good.
I use the Pro controller, and then
Me
I'll have
too.
that sitting next to me. And
It's
then I'll
nice that
do
you can
stuff,
use
right?
that as the map in the inventory still,
Right?
though.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can have
Is
that
kinda
next to
nice.
you and just access all that stuff. But
That's also one thing I
it
wrote.
sucks real bad to play those games with.
It hurts your wrist, and then the
Yeah.
battery dies in like a couple hours, like 2
Right.
hours, something like that. So you have to have it plugged in all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, for one of the cool things about Xenoblade Chronicles X is that the game world is massive, and then you could actually. So I'll be on my Pro controller, and then next to me I'll have like a little mini map. So it's almost like
That's
it's almost like a Pip Boy kind of, right? But you're it's like
well,
next
yeah,
to
like
you,
Fallout
so
did that, but they
Yeah.
use your fucking your phone.
it's your phone, right?
Yeah.
And then that's the
Which
discrepancy
maybe
between
that's what
tech
they're going to
and-
start doing instead
It
of
might be it,
so you don't have to have that pad anymore. Because I don't know if they'll make it compatible with the NX if you can but like you said, I think they're trying to distance themselves from the Wii and the Wii U idea. So maybe they
Yeah.
won't let you use. I don't know. But then they're going to port games over, so
So there's going to be some sort of
there's
parity
so
there.
many
I don't know,
questions.
man.
It's crazy.
Yeah, all we know at this point in time is that it's not good, and it's going
Yeah.
to a dark place for Wii U owners this year. Like if you own
Definitely.
a Wii U,
Yeah, you are burnt.
hold on to your asses. You got that fire hug. Like
Yeah, you got the Statue of Liberty fire hug.
You got what was that? The Freedom Fire hug? Like you got burnt. Like literally. Like that's it. I mean, enjoy the games that you have, but yeah, I mean, and I don't know. That's kind of a weird thing to say today because like. It seems like gaming today, like you get a game and then you move on from it. Maybe you'll never beat it. A lot of people don't really beat games. They you'll buy a game, you'll play it for a few days, you'll move on. Get another game, play it for a few days, move on. And then or you'll be in a competitive multiplayer space for a few months and then you'll move on. There's never really a time in a game life cycle anymore. I mean, unless you're getting trophies and achievements, of course. But just generally, like just playing a game over and over and over and over and over again, just to be able to play it because like that's all you have.
Right.
I mean. I don't know. It's just kind of a weird place to be in. I mean, it's just I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if you have a Wii U, enjoy the games that you like because I don't think that there's going to be any other games at E3 this year. Like I think Nintendo is going to have a very small presence. I don't expect anything really that big from them this year. We'll see Zelda Wii U.
No.
We'll see probably Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I cannot remember the fucking name of that game.
F sharp plus C plus plus.
Sharp F.
Popstar.
Popstar Supernova. I don't even know, man. Yeah, and then Super Mario Color Splash. So Super Paper Mario Color Splash. Besides that, I don't know. Maybe they have one or two more things up their sleeve this year, but I don't think so.
No.
If it's releasing in March 2017, I think
From what they said, I mean, they're not going to be doing anything at E3 besides showing whatever build they have of Zelda, I guess. But
and it's going to be playable at least, so that's going to be interesting.
yeah.
But I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, the biggest thing that scares me is just their silence on everything. But
It is, yeah.
maybe
I mean,
when they show us stuff, it'll be awesome and blow you away. So,
I really do appreciate that they release this stuff to us because Microsoft does not do this. Like this is not a Western mindset of doing this at all. I mean, even Sony doesn't really get into this. They release their good numbers, like when their games sell well, or when the PS4 hits 40 million units. They bury everything else exactly like if a game. Well, I mean, some stuff does get out, like when Drive Club was really bad and stuff like that. But I mean, like, I don't really know how many units Until Dawn sold, and we never really knew. I mean, I guess they must have made money on it because that game was a $59.99 game, and then all of a sudden, 2 months later, it's down to $39.99. So I'm assuming they made enough money on it to be able to sell it at a discounted rate. But
yeah,
I don't know. But I always do kind of appreciate Nintendo for kind of letting us in and being like, yeah. We have to let go of these assets. This is what we had this year. This is what we had last year. It's just kind of a crazy detailed amount of information that they give us every year, and it hasn't been good for the past couple of years. So
yeah.
But hopefully, the NX moving forward and things like that, they'll be able to pick back up again. Hopefully, the NX is everything that we want from games. Give us all the best aspects of the Wii U, the Wii, the Super Nintendo. Give us everything powered up. Just call it fucking Nintendo with a controller and give it to what we want. Give us what we want in one box, and hopefully, it's not too expensive. That would really suck if it's like $700.
Yeah, I would think they would try to keep the price point down.
That's why I'm thinking like there is not going to be backwards compatibility with the Wii U.
Yeah.
I think that's
or maybe even an optical drive at all. So
yeah, I don't even know if they read discs. I mean, it might just read from a cloud device or something like that.
Yeah.
And just kind of call it a night. So
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I guess that's what we got to do. We just got to hold on our pants and just I guess feel the burn from here on out. So
Yep.
So. Well, Miss Tibbins, I think it was a good second podcast.
Me too. It was good.
Pretty good. We got an old Nintendo, and maybe next week we'll have happy news. I don't know. We can only talk about what happens in the gaming community, and sometimes it's not all good.
Yeah. This week was Nintendo Death Speak,
and Lionhead Studios going under, and mobile gaming.
But I did find a fun pinball game. That's crazy,
go play some Dragon Fury.
There you go. Go play some Dragon Fury.
That'll make you feel better. I mean, that will make you feel better about Sega.
No,
it'll
they're mummified at this point.
Mummified. So yeah, going forward, talk about the podcast. We will have more segments and things like that. But as you guys know, this podcast
still figuring it out.
Still figuring it all out. This is episode 2. We got our first segment. Mr. Tibbins' Raspberry Pi.
Yeah,
he reaches in and gets that. But then going forward, we'll have more stuff. We'll have guests and we'll bring people on and we'll talk about more stuff like that. So it's coming along. I think it's a pretty good second episode, and we'll see what happens from here. So. Well, Mr. Tibbins, I guess I'll see you next week if you're free, and we'll do.
Oh yes, I will be available.
There's always some news.
There's always news.
There's always
shit to talk about.
Always
with
something, and like regardless if it's like something so minuscule, like oh yeah, there's something happening at E3. It's like which is like no shit. There's stuff to always talk about. But I mean, in cases like this when like Nintendo just like drops bombs everywhere, like Nintendo rolled out their fucking tank and put their fucking welding mask on. They were just like, we are dying. And they're like, NX 2017, the Wii U games. Guess what? Zelda Wii U's not coming. We're like, shit.
We hate baseball.
Stop. We're getting rid of the Mariners. We're like, stop.
I wish the news was that they sold their stock in the Mariners to make a Nintendo baseball team to compete.
Oh my god. they really have a Mario and like a real Peach and all that stuff. It's like
so
we bred
awesome.
a Yoshi, we bred a dinosaur, he's here. And it cost $1 billion.
That'd be fucking amazing.
He's the fucking catcher. It's awesome. Oh my god, it's fantastic. So alright, we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Alright, Mr. Toads, we're gonna sign out for the night.
Sounds good.
Alright, man, we'll see you next time.
Alright, take it
Thanks
easy.
for watching. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye. Go play some games.
Wow.